away under a stick-on bandage. So the sooner you seek treatment, the better. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support. That's samhsa.gov/support.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GRAND. That's GRAND. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls studio.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. That way you can join us in the chat. And today, got a lot on the plate here, because we got our college football power rankings to get into. Lots of great reaction from yesterday's show on the NFL power rankings. Jeremy took some more, he took some more fire. I won't say he took a hit, because no one can, seem to penetrate your outer exterior there.
Let me ask you a question.
Nothing.
What are you going to say on social media that A, I have never heard before, B, is even going to kind of bother me? You're fat.
I mean, it bothers
Thanks.
you. It bothers you a little bit.
No.
It doesn't hurt your feelings, but it bothers you a little bit.
No. It really just revs me up of, oh, what mean thing can I say back? You ought not do that. See, when I do stand-up, I can't do that. I mean, I can make a joke, and it's just, I can craft what I'm going to say when you do it in a comment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't have that, I had a better one, and I missed it. Nope.
Plenty of time to fire your barbs back. It is the Sportsocracy. Welcome into a Wednesday edition, along with college football power ranking coming up later on in the show. We're going to do the daily draft today, and that's going to be all about the NFL MVP picture. We'll pick who we, I guess, would get our votes at the moment for NFL MVP. We've got a future NFL Hall of Famer who is back in the NFL.
Is he, though?
He is.
Is he a future Hall of Famer, or is he not?
That's slander. We'll get into that coming up later on in this hour, but first we got to start off with Caleb Williams because, Jeremy, you took some heat for our little reel that we put out there on Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And, we talked about this yesterday. It didn't matter what you were saying. People just wanted to take shots at you.
Well, I mean, that's what we do in this age. It doesn't really matter what I say. It matters what you heard and what you think I was trying to say. And so it turns into this whole, I said Caleb Williams was going to be a bust, and he's Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell all wrapped up in one. No, that's not what I said. But the timing of that was incredibly fortuitous because old Dov Kleiman, who's, he's fun. He throws things out there sometimes that are just flat out not true.
Right.
But yesterday, he uncovered an article that Mike Florio had put out in July that basically said that Aaron Rodgers had asked for partial ownership of the Jets when he was negotiating his deal, and that Caleb Williams and his people had let it be known that he wanted that as well for whoever drafted him. I remember seeing this, then his dad started chirping, and all of it kind of wrapped up into one for me of you're getting some horrifically bad advice. And then why is it not shocking to me that as soon as you have a really bad game against Notre Dame, that's when all of this comes out? because things on the internet never die. When you say it, it will live forever. He never refuted that this came out. I've heard this in the last couple of hours from multiple people inside the NFL. He actually said this.
Mm-hmm.
For me to come out this year, I want partial ownership of a team. And now that led me to doing a little digging about Caleb Williams.
Uh-huh.
In his career at USC, do you know how many times he has played a defense that was in the top 40 nationally in points allowed?
I'll go with like 6.
It was 9.
Okay.
2 of those are Notre Dame. 2 of those are Utah. One's Tulane, Fresno State, Oregon State, Washington State, Arizona this year. Do you know how many times he has played teams that are in the bottom 50 nationally in terms of points allowed?
All the other ones.
It is all the other ones, because there are none in the meaty clackers. It's all either really bad or pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a completely different quarterback against the good defenses than he is against the bad ones. In his career, he has played 12 games. Math's hard. He's played 12 games against bottom 50 defenses. They ranked, in order of appearance, 121, 113, 107, 126, 79, 131, 90, 115, 132, 126, 88, 125. There are only 132 teams in college football, and there are only 131 last year. He's played the 2 worst defenses in those 2 years. In those games, he averages over 337 yards passing. He's a 73% completion guy. Almost 4 touchdowns to a third of an interception.
Good for him.
Those are amazing stats.
Awesome.
Against the others, 278 yards, 62% completion guy, 2.3 touchdowns, little over half an interception, and 3.5 sacks a game.
Mm-hmm.
You see how that sounds completely different? See, this is what happens when you do things like this and you start to believe your own press clippings and your dad's out there saying, well, we might not come out because we're making so much money on NIL. Then the report comes out, I want ownership of a team. What does that lead us to do? It leads us to dig into you a little more. I already thought this. I just didn't have numeric proof of it. Caleb Williams eviscerates bad defenses. Here's the problem. You don't get many Colorados in the NFL. And that's all I was trying to say. I didn't say he shouldn't go one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that he was not a great prospect. I said I don't think he's the generational prospect that we're making him out to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're making him out to be Trevor Lawrence. We're making him out to be Andrew Luck. He's not.
I feel like we do this every year.
Not to this level.
And I know we don't do it every year.
Not
but
to
I
this
feel
level.
like every year there's one guy. There's usually one guy that they're going to try to sell us. He's the guy, right? He's the difference maker. He's the franchise changer. Is it just coincidence that the best quarterbacks in college football, the ones that actually win the award for the best players in college football, is it just a mad coincidence that those guys typically don't have fantastic careers in the NFL? Is that
you set an expectation for a guy, and then they live with that forever. I've always said that's the problem with Kyler Murray. A lot of people defend him when I bring these things up and say, oh, he's a 2-time Pro Bowler and blah, 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 blah. I get that. Was he worth the number 1 pick, yes or no? And the answer is no. Because nothing's in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Can you even name the other players that were in that draft? Can you name the players that Kyler Murray was taken over?
Oh, no.
That kind of proves my point. That kind of proves my point.
But I stink at that game.
I do know you stink at that game. I do know you stink
Was
at that game.
Julius Peppers in that draft?
Nick Bosa and Quinnen Williams were the 2 right behind him.
There you go.
That was also the draft that Daniel Jones went at 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he should have gone 1. But we have this expectation because you went 1 that you should be a dynamic top 10 quarterback in the league, and he has been at times, but in large part he's not. I'm afraid Caleb Williams is going to fall into the exact same thing. And it's to a much higher extreme. Because there are people that are literally saying that I should be working the Fry Daddy at Burger King because I don't think he's Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad start. And it's a really bad start when this many stories come out behind closed doors that you, the average fan, don't get to hear. I get inundated with them.
Look, I'm all for getting what you can, right? I've always been the pro player guy. I was all over all for the NIL change and the movement and all that kind of stuff. But there comes a point where you have to come to realize what your worth actually is. And there's a certain phrase that came out of my mouth when I first heard this story that I can't say on the radio.
I'll give you a hint. It had falafel in it.
Exactly. Who does this kid think he is? And look, I try to treat you guys like, you're an adult now, right? This is a little kid statement.
No doubt.
This is an immature kid going, I want a piece of your ownership. No, sir.
You've done absolutely zero in this league. And the thing that bothers me is we got Mandela affected on, I swear I thought Patrick Mahomes got partial ownership of the Chiefs when he signed his deal. Mm-hmm. He didn't. He's an owner of the Kansas City Royals. He owns the women's soccer team in Kansas City. He has nothing with the Chiefs.
Right.
As soon as this happened, the NFL shut this down because Aaron Rodgers asked for it. And I understand that.
I do too.
Aaron Rodgers, I fully get. You could retire, go off into the sunset, be a first ballot Hall of Famer. You wanted a little piece here to incentivize this? I get it. Mm-hmm. Pat Mahomes, if he asked for it when they signed in Kansas City, he upped the valuation of that team by $1 billion.
Yep.
What does Caleb Williams do to an NFL team the minute he gets there?
Sends him in disarray.
Not necessarily. I mean, he's going to sell a lot of jerseys. Does he move the valuation of a team?
Not yet.
Do the Chicago Bears swell by $1 billion because he was drafted there?
No, they'll see an uptick from merchandise and stuff like that.
They'll sell a lot of jerseys.
But until you start winning.
2 years from now, it could be a complete disaster.
Right. But until you start winning, that's the problem. You gotta prove yourself before you can get. I think it's just one of those things. It's like the audacity, right? Nobody gets that deal. We're not giving that deal to Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. What makes you think I'm even going to come to the table to discuss ownership with you? Unless you've got $1 billion in your pocket on your own right now and you want to purchase a stake in my company, then we can talk. Until then, you haven't done squat for me.
Well, and the thing that bothers me about this is that now it's given me the red flag. All right, so I've been evaluating draft prospects for many, many years. I've been doing the NFL draft long enough that if it was a child, it could almost drive a car. There's a little notation on all of my player profiles. It's up in the top right-hand corner, and it's just a little red flag. That red flag could be for medical issues. It could be for some inconsistent tape. But the one that scares me the most is personality. This tells me that you think you're bigger than you are. I have heard a slew of things behind closed doors about Caleb Williams that he believes he's a brand. This is exactly what I tried to tell you was coming with NIL. This is just the next step. Mm-hmm. Now you've got a kid in Caleb Williams that has been incentivized to stay in college because he is making ridiculous money at USC. Is it as much as he would make in the NFL? No. Will it get him any quicker to the end of his rookie deal into the big slice of the pie? No. But it's enough to give him leverage.
Yep.
And Caleb Williams is going to be a really fun case study for me because he's the first high-end quarterback like this that has had the NIL in his pocket. And we're not even to the draft process. And it feels to me like you're trying to leverage teams this way and you're going to try to dictate where you go. I'm not sure you're that prospect. I'm really not. And when our little Caleb Williams video started trending on all the things, which, people say they want to trend. Do you really? Do you really want to do that? Because it's a whole lot of your phone going off until you shut up the notifications. Uh-huh. Then every time you open Instagram, it's like you have 999 new likes, follows, and all this other crap. And then it's just a slew of misspelled comments. Oh, yeah, there's some really smart ones. There's some really dumb ones, too. And when all of this started, I started seeing Caleb Williams in a different light. There are certain quarterbacks that you can draft into your franchise, and they kind of skirt under the radar. Trevor Lawrence, as great of a prospect as he was, he kind of skirted under the radar because he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He went to a team that if you check all the searches and Google and all these things, Jacksonville's in the bottom 5 of the NFL in most search teams, and they're good. What do you think they were 2 years ago? So you can come in and kind of stay under the radar. Caleb Williams not going to stay under the radar. He's going to show up. He's going to put himself in front of cameras. And I'm not sure that he's not more worried about being a celebrity than he is about being a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know why all of this came up?
Why is that?
Because you said something behind closed doors, and then one time you didn't back it up. And it led me, a little NFL draft scout, little ESPN draft nerd myself, to start digging in.
Mm-hmm.
And now everything I see, Drake Maye gets closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. I always had it as a 1A and a 1B.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I've had it that way since Jump Street. And I've told you 100 times, the fall off after those two is off a cliff.
Yes.
And now I'm going to say this, and I mean it from the depths of my soul. If I was an NFL team right now, Chicago Bears, Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos, all these teams that are looking at potentially having the number 1 pick, I don't think I want to deal with this Caleb Williams thing. Could it burn me? Absolutely. It absolutely could.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, in the last half of this season, you're going to have to be really special, because I don't know if you've looked at the schedule for USC. We're done with Cupcake City.
Oh, yeah.
There's no more Cupcake City.
No, you got 5 of your last 6 games are against top 25 teams.
There's no more Cupcake City. There's no more Heisman, because that Notre Dame game was enough that the voters are not going to make you the first back-to-back winner since Archie Griffin.
No.
It's not going to happen.
You had to be perfect.
So now this is gut check time for Caleb Williams. And what happens when he has 2 big old grumpers in the last half of this season? Because your personal accolades are gone. CFP is gone. What are you playing for?
Mm-hmm.
What are you playing for right now? He could sit down right now and probably be the number 1 pick in this draft, because not everybody's going to see this the way I do. What happens when you have a couple little lousy games against Oregon State or whichever of these teams you play?
Drake Maye gets closer.
I agree with you. And this is the reason that, and this is one of the tenets of this show. You have freedom of speech all day. You can say anything out in public that you want to. You can say anything behind closed doors that you want to. What you don't have is freedom from repercussions. And for at least one scout, the repercussions have already started. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Dr. Rebecca Merrill and her staff at Asheville Smiles are here to get your smile back on track, offering comprehensive dental care from teeth cleaning, fillings, and crowns to smile makeovers with Invisalign or veneers and so much more. Asheville Smiles also has all the up-to-date technology, including same-day crowns, digital impressions, so no more goop, 3D x-rays, and single-tooth anesthetic wands so your entire face doesn't feel numb when you leave. For the highest level of comfort and care, call my dentist, Dr. Rebecca Merrill, at Asheville Smiles.
It all starts in Asheville with the Asheville Championship at the Harris Charities St. Asheville on November 10th and 12th. It's the early season men's college basketball event featuring the men's teams from Clemson University, Maryland University, Davidson University, and University of Alabama Birmingham. The Asheville Championship is an incredible way to bring quality college basketball to the fans of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Tickets are on sale now at AshevilleChampionship.com. Save your spot and cheer on your team today.
Klein Tools are new at Lowe's, pros. Lowe's knows you want top brands and quality products, and Klein Tools delivers. Right now, get the Klein 3-piece Mod Box mobile workstation for $319.94 and the Klein 5-piece cushion grip screwdriver set for just $34.97, both exclusively at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools, the highest quality tool brand at Lowe's. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cott?
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, live in the Ingalls studio. We got your chance to win coming up in the next hour. We're going to do this after the college football power rankings. We'll be giving you another chance to get some tickets to go to the Asheville Championship. Yep, college basketball season is almost here. Did you see the poll came out?
I did.
Kansas up there at the top.
Hey, guess what? My team ain't in it.
Tar Heels at number 20. I like that.
I do think it's funny that Jeremy's two college basketball teams, the one where he went and the one that he cheers for, one of them had a drunk coach, and the other one has taken a big old spiral into the toilet.
Damn.
Looks like the art is starting to imitate the fan.
Oh. The Asheville Championship returns to the Harris Charities St. in Asheville, November 10th and the 12th. We've got 4 teams, the best field that we've had in this tournament in its early life. We got Clemson and Maryland coming to town, along with Davidson and UAB. Get your tickets, or for more information, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. Continue to listen here for your chance to win tickets leading up to the event. It is all proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets. The San Francisco 49ers getting good news. Sources saying that Christian McCaffrey is not going to. They're not going to have to wait long. Apparently, he could go on Monday night. Although I will continue to maintain why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can run Jordan Mason in this game. You're going to be just fine.
Playing the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football, McCaffrey leaving the game against the Browns early, suffering an oblique rib injury. There was talk yesterday about him, being out on the field on Monday night wearing a flak jacket to protect the ribs. I think I'd want to give him a little bit more rest because what last week proved to me is that not every game is going to be easy. Not saying that you expected it was going to be, but you're going to need Christian McCaffrey for all 4 quarters of every game if you want to play, if you want to win the title.
Oh, another thing that we've said over the last couple of weeks that caught a lot of flack, it's been a fun couple of weeks on social media, is that Brock Purdy does exactly what he's asked, no more, no less. It's weird. All the people that told me that, no, he's doing way more than that. Man, you've been awful quiet for the last handful of days.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a dig. All right, I know that's treated as a dig, but I really want you to look around the NFL. How many quarterbacks do you not say that about? That they do exactly, that they stay within the confines of the offense? Is Tua Tagovailoa doing things outside of the confines of the offense?
No.
No, he's playing point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got elite weapons. I got more speed than anybody on the planet. All I got to do is I got to get them the ball in space, let them work their magic. I don't have to be special. Just distribute the ball. I would make the argument that the only quarterbacks in this league that you don't say that about are Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. That's it.
Yeah.
All the rest of them live and die by the talent of the receiving core, the running backs, the offensive line. Look at Matthew Stafford. That's the best example of this I could possibly ever give you. He was in Detroit for 100 years, threw up outrageous stats because he had to be the catalyst of the offense.
Yes.
Then he goes to L.A. He's got Cooper Kupp. He had Allen Robinson, even though that was an absolute disaster. Odell Beckham Jr. Now he's got Puka Nacua. He's playing point guard just like Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a dig. It's just the truth. Facts don't care about your feelings. There are only a handful of elite quarterbacks in this league. Brock Purdy falls into that next tier. Dak Prescott, 1 week he can look like a top 6 quarterback in the league. The next week he looks like a replacement level guy.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? They're all going to do that. There are a lot of quarterbacks.
But everybody gets in their feelings about Brock Purdy because he takes more shots than most, because of the Mr. Irrelevant thing, because of the doubters like you, Jeremy.
I'm not a doubter.
And
he fits that offense perfectly. That's all you could ever want.
And then you also have, the kookies who think he's the MVP of the league.
That's insanity.
Yes.
It's absolute unmitigated insanity.
But he's on the short list in Vegas, and he's also on the short list for a lot of people. He's not on the short list for you or I, which we'll be doing that in the daily draft today, who our MVP, votes would go to.
A third of the way into the season. Who would you take?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I've got some interesting names on my list.
But there are some that want to ride that Brock Purdy is special train. He is special.
Is he though?
But, well, wait a minute. He's special for Mr. Irrelevant. He's special for an Iowa State quarterback. He's special for a game manager yes, he's special, but he's not special, right? He's not Andrew Luck. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not Patrick Mahomes, and he's never gonna be.
And like I said, there's only a few
Joe
of us.
Flacco.
I look at Brock Purdy and go, and you said 3 things there. I don't disagree with anything you just said. I think he's special for the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
This is my case study, and this is what I am going to use from here on out. Because it seems like anytime I say anything about a quarterback, I just need to turn my phone off and put it in the freezer. Use this as your benchmark from here on out. Patrick Mahomes is a special quarterback and a special offense. What does that lead to? Special team.
Mm-hmm.
Dynasty team that's going to be relevant and in the hunt for a decade. Jared Goff is not a special talent. He's good talent. Went to a Super Bowl with the Rams. Running game goes away. Belief in him goes away. He turns into a replacement-level bum quarterback. Goes to Detroit. They don't have all the pieces. He's a replacement-level quarterback. He's fine. He's in that 15-16 range. We talk about this over and over again. For the last 17 games, he's been an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Amon-Ra St. Brown, little dose of Jameson Williams. Now you got Jahmyr Gibbs. Now you got Sam Laporta. And you got one of the best offensive lines in football.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy works with the San Francisco 49ers with a lot of weapons, with a lot of talent. What would he be with the Arizona Cardinals? There aren't many guys that could go into that team and be special. Pat Mahomes could. I think Josh Allen could. Josh Dobbs has done a reasonably good job, but the difference between a guy like Josh Dobbs and Jared Goff, it ain't as much as you want it to be. The difference between those two and Brock Purdy, it ain't as much as you want it to be. And that top side is 5 guys at best.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trevor Lawrence is starting to scratch the surface of that. Another one I got railed on for saying that he didn't belong up there yet.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this past week was a disaster for San Francisco. There's no doubting that, right? They played a special Cleveland team, and give Cleveland all the credit, right? Because they did things too. I mean, Micah Parsons talked about this on his podcast, how the energy is just different in the NFL for some teams, right?
Yeah.
The energy for the Cowboys and the hate against Dak Prescott is so heavy, but nobody wants to give that same pressure to Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, where Jalen's doing the same thing that Dak's doing, right? Your team struggles a little bit, pick up a loss, like you don't look really clean in the offense. But the same energy is not given to both teams. And then he used the San Francisco 49ers in the same light. Right? Like
I agree with him on San Francisco.
Right. Like we're not giving Cleveland their flowers for going out there and winning without Deshaun Watson, without Nick Chubb, without Jack Conklin. But we want to make all these excuses for San Francisco that they lost all of their talent and all of, that they lost Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams for a little bit. And it's just.
Can I just have a little platitude here on Micah Parsons?
Sure.
So the quote that you're talking about, he said, I just don't condone the bashing of Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys and not have the same energy for the Eagles. That's your first lie, because we 100% have the same energy for the Eagles. You have more media, so you hear it from more places. Jalen Hurts has been to a Super Bowl. So, yeah, he gets a little more platitude than Dak Prescott does, who's had this level of weaponry and this level of talent around him. He's never gotten there. You get to a Super Bowl, guess what? We'd give you the benefit of the doubt, too. So that was the first thing I wanted to take issue with.
All right.
The second thing, we want the same energy for everybody because there's a whole bunch of bashing when it's Dak Prescott, but not the same when it's the Eagles. Okay, do you realize how disingenuous what you just said is? The reason you're Micah Parsons is because you play for the Dallas Cowboys. If Micah Parsons played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, how many endorsements do you think he would have? To change the player?
No.
No. That's why everybody that doesn't pull for the Dallas Cowboys hates them. You're whining about the thing that makes you who you are. Yeah, you play for the most popular team in the league. Hate to break it to you. That means you're going to get talked about a lot. You know why? Because more people care about you. We start making Arizona Cardinals season-long projections. Talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody's got an opinion. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Use it. This is what's always irritated me about Dallas. All the way back to T.O. crying about, that's my quarterback. Yeah, you knew this when you signed on the dotted line. Dallas Cowboys are going to get more eyeballs than anybody else. Love them, hate them, there is no in between. Name me a person you know that is completely, has no opinion on the Cowboys.
Not one.
Now, name me how many people you know have an opinion on the Jaguars. End of message, repeat the line.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to go. But choosing the Eagles right there, I can't believe that you're that tone deaf. This team just went to the Super Bowl. Of course we give Jalen Hurts a pass for a bad game. Now, I've been a little harder on Jalen than everybody else has. But, yeah, and Dak Prescott's been this guy. He's a teeter-totter. 1 week it's great, 1 week it's awful. 1 week it's great, 1 week it's awful. When you stop doing that, maybe we'll give you a little platitude. Until then, you get what you get.
You get none. Okay.
You signed one of the richest deals in the NFL playing for the premier franchise in the NFL. What'd you think we were going to ignore you? Did you think you could be this guy and not get media pressure?
No, I just want the same energy for everybody.
I guarantee you, as soon as Dak Prescott heard that line, he went to Micah Parsons and went, listen here, youngman. That's not going to go the way you want it to. Because, see, I've made this same mistake, and you wanted the heat to go away. You just multiplied it by 3.
That he did. San Francisco, though, that's what we started talking about.
Yeah, sorry. I had to get the Micah Parsons thing in. We didn't put it into the pre-show, so I had to sneak it in where it came up.
Christian McCaffrey, it's good news, though, all around, right? Good news that everybody's could be available on Monday. Now the question has to come down to Kyle Shanahan. Should everybody be available on Monday?
No.
Because I'm going to say you shouldn't.
Because
every one of them that just got hurt in that game, I think I can handle Minnesota.
No doubt. You can play the practice squad and beat Minnesota.
100%. I'm not risking any injury on Monday night against Minnesota to put the rest of the season in jeopardy. You can talk about, chances of re-injury, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want the chance out there.
I'll say the same thing I just said about Micah Parsons. You're right. There is a low risk of that. But if I do that, how big of an idiot do you think I'm going to get called? All right, Christian McCaffrey, we put him in a flak jacket. He comes in against the Vikings, and he hurts that oblique again, and it's worse. It could have nothing to do with the previous injury.
Nope.
The public's not going to believe that. Not for 1 second. And that will just be another notch on the bedpost of dumb things Kyle Shanahan has done. I don't think you can play him. And you don't have to. Just go beat Minnesota's brains out with Jordan Mason. You can. I promise. The Bears had a shot to beat the Vikings. You shouldn't struggle.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Right, getting into our afternoon and seeing the clouds and the chilly weather sticking around. Some of us maybe not even hitting 50 degrees today. Slight chance of a shower early. Overnight tonight, a chance of showers early, then some clearing later. A little breezy, 42, 30s in the normally cooler spots. Tuesday, sunny, 60. On Wednesday, sunshine milder, 66. Thursday, sunshine, 67. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Discover. If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Warning. If you are 60 or older, RSV can be a dangerous respiratory virus.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. This message is brought to you by Pfizer.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, it's the conference title showdown in the MAC. AC Reynolds at TC Robertson. Both teams are undefeated in conference play. The winner will be in the driver's seat for the championship. Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show starts at 6:30 with a kickoff at 7. On AM 1400, Tuscola, coming off their big win against Pisgah, is on the road at Smoky Mountain. Cowboy John Roden and the gang hit the airwaves at 7. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text message from iHeartMedia.
The Asheville Championship returns to Harris Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Market.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Sportsocracy, time to get just a bit outside. T.O.'s back in the news. And I don't know what to think about this story because part of me feels like, man, you took it a little too far. And then the other side of it, I go, well, who doesn't want to hit T.O. with a car? So he was in a pickup.
I don't care nearly enough about T.O.
He was in a pickup basketball game, apparently, on Monday night in Calabasas, California. He got into an altercation on the basketball court, because who's shocked that T.O. was out there running his mouth and jawing with the guys on the court? Well, there was an altercation on the court, and then after, I guess, the game had ended, he's walking away, and the guy hit him with his car. Now, thankfully, he was not hurt. He was, I guess, just basically nudged with the front of the car. But, of course, TMZ picks up the story, and the headline is, T.O. hit by car. Yeah. He got a love tap. That's what he got.
Don't do dumb things. Okay. I hear these stories, and it's like, well, somebody had road rage and they pulled a gun. Or maybe you could just calm the falafel down. How about that? How about that? I think that's a better way for us all to live.
Look, I'm just glad that Ray Lewis hit him harder than he was hit by this car and that he was not injured. I'm hoping that this was just an accident, but there again, it's a warning shot, right?
I never thought I would agree with Tom Brady on anything, but I must admit, on his Let's Go podcast, he said something that I adamantly agree with. Tank, you can attest that I am that guy. I am the let him play ref.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a PI.
Oh, yeah.
That's a hold. Throw the damn flag. I'm that guy.
So maddening.
I am not afraid to admit it.
Every play.
Hey.
That's a hold!
Hey, you know what? I'm passionate, man. And sometimes that comes out of my mouth. Well, apparently, Tom's first year sitting on the sidelines, he feels the same way I do. He said football is a physical sport. There's a physical element to all of this. You throw a 15-yard flag for something that, 20 years ago maybe wouldn't have been a flag. That affects the game in a big way. There's so many people that want it less and less physical. It's more like flag football, which is going to be in the Olympics in 2028. Maybe football goes to flag football over a period of time. Do you see what you've done with all your stupid lawsuits? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, you mean you put on a polyurethane helmet and hit somebody at full speed and you didn't think that maybe, just maybe, that would have an effect down the line? We're talking about flag football. No, I draw a line in the sand. This is a perfect sport.
What?
No.
Oh, at changing the NFL?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I thought you were against flag football in the Olympics, and I was like, hold on, let's talk
I'm
about
not
this for
averse
a second.
to that. I'm just I look at Tom Brady and go, yeah. You see, all those times you looked at an official and went, "Where's the ref and the quarterback?" Because he flicked me in the head. Yeah, maybe you should shut up. Okay, don't be a man. Shut up.
I'm glad we had the same take on this because when I saw it, I went, "But wait a minute, Tom." Because you're the reason that all these rules are like they are.
Yeah.
We wanted to remember when Tommy broke his leg and we had to change the rules.
Oh, you can't hit him below the knee anymore.
Right. It ruins the game when Tom Brady can't win Super Bowls.
I also laugh at people that, well, that's obviously a penalty. There was one on Derwin James. Can we just, and this is another, names on the door, I'm going to rant about something that's been bothering me for a couple days. When the ball carrier drops their head, can we just let it be? Okay? Because I don't know if you've ever been put in one of those situations. What exactly are you supposed to do? Let me just throw my head back like Linda Blair in The Exorcist so I don't ding him in his little head.
You got to twist and contort your body into weird ways
Yeah,
to appease the refs these days.
Let me shove my head up my own tuchus so I don't bang my helmet off his. Or just let him play,
Just
ref.
let him play.
Let him play.
Until
it happens to my team.
Exactly, until
And
Sauce
then
Gardner gets one of
throw
those.
the damn flag. Yeah, you want to know what watching the game with me is like? That's it, in a nutshell. When my team has the ball, throw the flag. When you have the ball, let him play, ref.
It is so funny.
And you know what's funny? Any of you that don't do the same thing? Liars. Badman, you're lying. Because you may not say it out loud as I do, but you think it.
Mm-hmm.
You think it.
I mean, no, whenever there's an obvious bad call, it goes my way. It's good call.
Hey,
good call.
Hey,
Good call.
Look at progressive officials.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're just letting them play.
Let's go.
Let this happen.
It's just
watching a game with him is just maddening because it's every possession and
100%.
every play. Like you know how they say in the NFL,
there's a hold on every
there's a
play.
hold on every call. Jeremy sees all of them.
Yeah, I do.
Except for the ones that his team does, and he doesn't see those. And then it's like,
well,
that's just good for. I mean, he might have had a little.
Okay, now you're lying because when my team does it, I see it on them too, and usually I have the same response, and it's exactly the face I'm about to make.
Nobody saw that.
I didn't see anything. You did.
He does that thing. I don't remember who it was. I was watching one game over the weekend, and there was a lineman who was clearly holding. And as soon as the guy kind of got past him, what did he do? Put his hands up in the air. Like, I didn't do anything. And I think it was on Mark Schlereth's game because Mark went,
they're going to see that.
That's what they're going to see.
Yeah.
They're going to see you do that, and now they know you held it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to act like you didn't do anything.
It's like the kid with his hand in the cookie jar like,
Right. You just got to play it off and act like you weren't doing anything. Anyhow, let's see. We got the Hall of Famer.
The Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame is coming back to the NFL.
Hurricane Ditka or Coach Ditka.
Not sure what accent that was supposed to be.
I don't either.
But I like it now. I want to do it all
Sounded
day.
like it belonged in a Quentin Tarantino movie. You just rivaled Jodie Foster for the worst accent I've ever heard in my life.
My acting chops are so good. I could have been in Winnie Pooh, Blood and Honey. I really could have.
Well, you could have been the kid that peed his pants in Billy Madison, and I'm still angry at you for not doing
I ain't
that.
got to bring up real stuff. We were just joking there for a second. Now you got to be all painful.
Yeah, your dramatic your dramatic chops are you were the kid who showed his Barris in heavyweights.
Indeed.
So if you watch that movie and you see a little fat kid's hiney, that guy.
Yeah. You've seen way more of me than you want to.
100%. Frankly, I'm seeing too much of you right now.
Oh, I don't like you anymore. All right,
Hoodie
never
and
did
jeans.
really.
That's more of you than I wanted to see.
The Julio Jones. He's back in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles signing Julio after they had to put Quez Watkins on IR. They decided rather than going with Marquez Callaway or Desmond Patman, bring in a Hall of Famer. How about that?
let's go to Tales from the Crypt and see if they can pop open that coffin and bring us the guy who hadn't been good in a political term.
I mean, he's okay, right? I mean, he's still a body, and he gets out there and he can get you some yards every now and then,
and gets hurt instantaneously.
Sure. I mean, well, he's
can you
50
not
years
just
old.
call it good?
No,
like Julio, buddy. 3 years ago, I would have said you were a no doubt Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know.
Stop.
I don't know.
No.
Do you realize how hard it is for receivers to get in the Hall of Fame? And yes, he was special for a lot of years. He's also been hurt a lot.
Sure.
I just feel like you're diminishing your legacy every time you do this.
I don't. I mean, we've seen receivers do this over the years.
So you don't remember the Tampa Bay year? Yeah, you're telling me I say Julio Jones and you don't go, man. You just can't seem to let that go, can you?
Well, I mean, like I said, there were a couple of plays where it was okay. He got hurt, and as I expected, he was going to. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles aren't making this move to make him, the no doubt starting 3 for the rest of the season. I mean, if it works out that way and he fills that role, then sweet. Otherwise, we're just bringing in a vet who we know can catch, because I don't believe Desmond Patman is setting the world on fire. No offense to him personally, but come on. I'd rather have 80-year-old Julio Jones than that guy.
I would not. Julio Jones is almost my age, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dan?
I hurt my back getting my mail, and I'm not in that bad a shape.
You're in way worse shape than he is.
Not medically, I'm not.
Oh, I'll bet you.
Medically?
I bet you so.
Julio Jones has broken virtually every bone in his body at least twice. Yeah, I have not. I've been very lucky in that regard. Got one shoulder, got one foot. End of message, repeat the line. Yeah, I saw this and went, why? Why are you doing this? Why can you not just go away?
Why does it annoy you so?
I hate watching guys end their career like this.
Yeah.
Go out on retire a year early. Don't retire 6 years late.
Well, here's the problem.
And this is year 5 late.
Well, I mean, he thought there was going to be a second act, and there wasn't one.
No,
right? He wanted to go to Tennessee.
But now we're on Act 7.
Sure.
All right, they've already left. You already had to call SpongeBob out to sweep up the tomatoes, and they cheered the tomato sweeper more than they did you.
But now I'm at the point of I just want the exclamation point, right? I don't want to end it on being a part of the worst division championship team in NFL history.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get an exclamation point.
Why not?
You know what? Because how's that going to work? How's that going to work?
All
So
I
you're
gotta
telling
do
me
is
4
make it
years
to
later, he's all of a sudden going to be a thing. He's been hurt every time he's been on the
I'm not
field.
saying he's going to be a thing. I'm not saying that they win a Super Bowl because of him. I'm saying he gets to be on a roster.
Okay, then
he
that's
gets
not
to
an
have
exclamation
some catches.
point.
He needs to be. Sure, it is.
That's like
compared
LaShawn
to,
McCoy getting a Super Bowl ring with you.
Absolutely.
Nobody outside of Buccaneer fans remember that.
Who else ended his career with back-to-back Super Bowl championships?
Oh, good Lord.
Other than John Elway.
That he had as much to do with as I did.
I'm just.
But
that's all you're doing at this point, right?
on.
Because he's not setting records. Right, he's not a candidate to go to the Pro Bowl or anything. This is just let me be on a roster, let me get a ring, and let me go home.
Just retire with some dignity, okay? Don't make us scrape you off the field with a shovel, because that's where this is headed.
Maybe.
You know what? Julio Jones has this rare disorder. Every morning he breaks his arms, and every afternoon he breaks his legs, and then he wakes up and does it again the next day.
Look, I'm a weekend warrior. I just want to go out on my shield, right?
You're also everybody's a Hall of Famer. It's just what you do.
The fact that you doubt that he's a Hall of Famer is ridiculous.
He will wait way longer to get in than you want him to. Because I asked you straight up, is it career-wise, is he better than Reggie Wayne? No.
But it's close.
You're right, it's close.
It's real close. In fact, I looked it up. I looked up the Hall of Fame monitor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their Hall of Fame scores are almost the same.
Okay.
I mean, this guy's getting in, right? You got Larry Fitzgerald coming.
Hey,
he's
just
at the top of the pile.
Refresh my memory. Is Reggie Wayne in the Hall of Fame?
Not yet.
No, he's not. He hasn't been all that close yet either.
He's going to get there, though.
Eventually.
Torrey
maybe.
Holt will get there. But, I mean, Julio will have to wait his turn. I'm not saying he's going first ballot or anything.
It took Isaac Bruce like 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not as big a layup as you think.
We're not going to let this game.
This is going to slide into the Frank Gore's a Hall of Famer, and I'm going to get mad. Because every time you say that, I get mad. We got our first 2 of these of the day.
Okay.
First one's from Soaring Eagle. So this is probably going to get me some backlash, but let me say this here. Give it a couple more years and we could see Air Force in the college football playoff. He's not wrong.
Is he really?
Oh, Air Force is undefeated. So when we go to 12.
Oh, well, okay. I'll give you the 12 spot.
That was my hesitation on the playoff expanding to begin with. I don't need to see Air Force get slaughtered by Georgia.
Mm-mm.
But then I see this year and go, we have 10 teams that are good, and I don't think any of them are great. And I only get 4 of them, and I don't like that.
Yep.
And then our buddy Armchair Commentary
I'm your Huckleberry.
says, I know we moved on from Caleb Williams, but teams often draft guys with issues and almost always get burned. I can't point to a time where it worked out. I wouldn't draft him if I'm picking. There are certain teams that will feel that way because he is right. In large part, the red flag guy doesn't end well, and Caleb Williams is throwing up about 1 every other week.
We got college football tonight, plus there's baseball, and Jeremy's got bangers next.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels, whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys, and we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Tired of a job with no spark? Then join Emery Electric, the Southeast's premier electrical contractor. Competitive pay, a supportive team, and career growth await. Power up your career. Visit EmeryElectric.com/careers. That's EMORY electric.com.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime,
and have power spots for more cash wins.
Show me the money! Feel the power!
With power scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.23 to 4.57. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Coffee closes on.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
It's a Coosa Wednesday. We hope that I'm as accurate as I was yesterday. I just had the wrong teams. I said Liberty would beat Middle Tennessee 58-0. I said South Alabama wrong, as they won 55-3. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. We start with Florida International at Sam Houston. Sam Houston's first year in FBS, they're 0-6, and they are awful. And they are somehow a 5-point favorite against Florida International. I don't care if FIU plays the head coach at quarterback. I don't care if they play the coach and the water boy as the premier duo that's going to score them points. This line is moronic. Give me FIU plus the 5.5. They win outright in what will be the most unwatchable game in the history of college football. Next, New Mexico State, 2.5-point favorite at UTEP. This does not feel nearly high enough to me. Drew Pavia, best player on the field, not close. He does everything for New Mexico State, and he will be the catalyst that leads them to a very large road win. Give me the Aggies, minus the 2.5. They win by a whole lot. And I always told you, don't ever bet baseball because that's for degenerates. But then the Creed thing happened, and now I'm on board with the Texas Rangers. Scott Stapp and Creed are going to lead the Rangers to a World Series. I'm taking a minus 130 tonight. They're back home, and they're going to sweep this series out on the backside of Arms Wide Open. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Right, getting into our afternoon and see the clouds and the chilly weather sticking around. Some of us maybe not even hitting 50 degrees today. Slight chance of a shower early. Overnight tonight, a chance of showers early, then some clearing later. A little breezy, 42, 30s in the normally cooler spots. Tuesday, sunny, 60. On Wednesday, sunshine milder, 66. Thursday, sunshine, 67. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing,
the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports
is gross.
Just earlier.
Armature, actually. You just have to get to know better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. Got your chance to win some tickets to the Asheville Championship Basketball Tournament coming up in this hour, so stay tuned for that, November 10th and the 12th. Live from Harrah's Cherokee Center, Asheville. It all starts here, the first of the premier early college basketball tournaments. We've got Clemson, Maryland, Davidson, UAB, all here to duke it out over the weekend, a Friday and Sunday, and we've got a pair of tickets for both days going out later on in this hour, so stick with us. You can get more information and tickets at AshevilleChampionship.com, and it is proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets. Jeremy Green, college football this weekend. We had the barn burner that we all asked for. Mm-hmm. The Washington-Oregon game was fantastic. Drama all over the place. Dan Lanning just pooping his pants 3 times on national television.
You should never do that. Later in this here hour, I'll tell you why you should never do that. And that's a segue. And when I tell that story, you'll realize how good of a segue it is.
And Michael Penix making the big plays at the end of the game, along with his star-studded cast of receivers, including Rome Odunze. Where does Washington fit in this week in the college football power ranking?
Well, I can tell you they're not one. But they're real close.
Okay, all right. Let's start it out. Who's number 1?
The Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, the dominance just continues.
I need a team to not get beat 30-plus to less than 10. Until that happens, I'm not backing off the team that was my preseason number 1.
Mm-hmm.
They're just eviscerating people.
I want to ask you this question.
Okay.
Did they get better? Did they get better, or did just, I guess, did Georgia fall back? Did everybody else kind of fall back a step, or did this Michigan team get better?
No, everybody got more experienced. You brought back a lot of guys. Now J.J. McCarthy's a junior. You've got Corum and Donovan Edwards running the ball. You've just got upperclassmen all up and down this roster. So you have a team that was already really talented, and now they're experienced and seasoned and talented. And I don't know how anybody's going to beat them. I really don't.
Is it enough to win a national championship? Continues to be the question.
Yes. You have 2 real challenges on this schedule. You're already at 7-0. You play Michigan State this weekend. I'm sorry. Just saying that out loud was yikes. You got Purdue, you got Maryland. Those will be cakewalk wins. You have to go to Happy Valley, and you get Michigan State or Ohio State, at Michigan in the Big House. I think this team's going to be 13-0. They're going to go into the playoff as the number 1 seed. And because I think once you beat Penn State and Ohio State, that's when the committee goes, okay, that's 2 wins that are exponentially better than anything Georgia has.
Mm-hmm.
And they're right now they would be my favorite to win the national title, and it's not particularly all that close.
I would agree.
There's only one team that's even in their ballpark to me.
Mm-hmm. Is that who's number 2?
The Washington Huskies.
Okay.
That offense is terrifying. Now, I need to say something that doesn't seem to be getting the national pub. You do realize that their second-best receiver was not on that field. As good as that offense was, Jalen McMillan was coming back. That was his first game back. He got hurt in the second series.
Mm-hmm.
They have another one. It's not just Roma Dunza. It's not just Jalen Polk. They have another one that is – he's a second-round prospect. Michael Penix is going to win the Heisman. I don't see a lot of things that can preclude that.
Okay.
And he's going to get multiple opportunities. Not in a game necessarily that will be as viewed as Oregon was. That was probably your high watermark, but he had the Heisman moment. And that's really what you need. And he had it. That throw to Adunza in the back of the end zone on that drive that they never should have had.
It was crazy. And I don't know. To me, it makes it more important. It makes it a bigger moment. The fact that he was able to come up with that throw despite how he had played in that second half. Because I didn't see a good Michael Penix play in the second half of that game. He's fine.
He showed me something that I had not seen. Because, I mean, we told the stat of this kid's only been sacked. You don't even need all 10 of your fingers to count how many times this kid's been sacked in 2 years. So to see him get harassed, it obviously knocked him off path for about a quarter. Then he got back on track. The pressure was still there, and he was just throwing in the face of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this becomes there were people that were criticizing him, saying he was basically playing 7-on-7 flag football, of nobody's coming anywhere near you, and so you're just picking people apart. Well, that didn't happen against Oregon. So that was what I needed to see. Now they get 2 with Arizona State and Stanford. I'll go ahead and tell you, you don't really need to stay up for those 2 because that's not going to be pretty. But then you have a gauntlet to end it.
Mm-hmm.
At USC, Utah, at Oregon State, Washington State.
All right, I'll tell you, Washington is my 3, so they did jump up the rankings like I told you they would after they won that game against Oregon. Who is your 3?
The Georgia Bulldogs.
All right, see, Georgia's my 2.
I almost pushed Georgia to 4.
Well, because of the injury?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Because to me, that's why they dropped in my poll, my power ranking. I had them at 1. I was going to keep them at 1. After the dominant performance that they had against Kentucky, I bumped them back up to 1. But now Brock Bowers is hurt. And now they're talking he may not be back until the Tennessee game. God forbid he has any setbacks. It could be longer than that. And I'm just not positive that this team can survive all of the setbacks and the pitfalls and the late starts that you have when you don't have Brock Bowers on the field for 6 games. This is now every game's a minefield because you've been playing with people, right? Because you've been toying with your opponents, because you've allowed us to see some of your flaws. I'm concerned whether or not you can continue down the undefeated path here.
Well, the problem for me for Georgia is that you're going to miss Brock Bowers for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Well, you got 4 losable games in a row. You could lose to Georgia in the world's greatest outdoor cocktail party. And, yes, I'm going to continue calling it that because it's stupid that you won't let me call it that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called. All right, it was on the video game. I grew up with that. That's what that game is called.
How embarrassing would that be?
Oh, that would be. You talk about, well, we don't have to talk about the SEC anymore.
That would be an all-timer. That would be one of the all-time letdown games in Georgia football history. back-to-back national championships. You're trying to get that undefeated season, and you fall against this Florida team. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Well, Florida's not as bad as you're making them out to be. I mean, this will be a top 25 team probably in a week.
I was gonna say, are they anywhere close to being a championship caliber team?
No,
that's a game you shouldn't.
They're a 7, 8, 9 win bowl eligible team, and it's a rivalry. Mm-hmm. So would it be a huge letdown to you? Yes. Would it be a huge letdown to Georgia and their fan base? Yes. Mm-hmm. But
that's what I meant.
And then you go Missouri, Ole Miss, at Tennessee. I have a funny feeling you're going to lose one of those games. I probably wouldn't have felt that way with Brock Bowers. But to me, he is as important to your offense as you make Travis Kelce out to be with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because in Kansas City, they can still do things when he's not on the field. Go take a real hard gander at what that Oregon, I don't know where that came from. What that Georgia offense does when he's not on the field. It is dumbfounding how bad they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're going to have to adjust. And I will say I almost pushed them to 4.
And I would have understood if you did.
Stayed the execution by 1 week. Because the team that I have at 4, if they win this week, they will be my 3 next week.
Okay. And that is?
Do it. Breathe it in, man. They're back. Your 2023 college football playoff champion, Florida State Seminoles. I'm going to put it in the ether.
Such a roller coaster with you.
We're back to the year, Jeremy. We're going to get a Jets Super Bowl. We're going to get a Nuggets NBA title. Florida State college football playoff. Breathe it in, man. It's a cause we can all get behind.
I love it.
This is a much bigger test this week for Florida State than people want to let on. Because that Mike Elko defense, they don't play around. And if you let them stay in this, they can burn you. Because Riley Leonard is just good enough. He already showed this. They played right with Notre Dame, and that's a really good defense. So, to me, this is the week, if you're Florida State. You've played Virginia Tech and Syracuse over the last 3 weeks. After this, you play Wake Forest and Pittsburgh before you play Miami. So this is whatever the opposite of a trap game is, that's what this is. This should have had 75% of your attention for the better part of the last month. You can't get caught here. You have to come out and absolutely squish them like a bug.
Mm-hmm.
You need to win this game. You need to cover this number, to me. They're a 14.5-point favorite. They need to cover this number.
Yeah.
And if they do, just be prepared for completely insufferable Jeremy on Monday.
I will agree with you on the this is a danger zone game. Because Duke is a team that can get you.
This is a team that can beat you.
I heard somebody say this the other day, and it makes perfect sense to me. You know, I'm not the Madden guy, but somebody said Riley Leonard is ultimate team Daniel Jones.
Yes.
And I can't unsee it. I can't unhear it. Like, he is the Daniel Jones that you've boosted with all of your Madden points.
Yes.
Because he does all of the same things that Daniel Jones does, but he does them way better. Like, he's got the better arm, he's got the better accuracy, and he's way better with his feet.
Florida State's just lethal on on every level.
Yes.
They're lethal.
Yes, they are.
Because you got Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson should be back this week. Yaheem Bell has been an absolute dog. You talk about a kid that's helped his draft stock, that's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Trey Benson and Tuavili in the backfield.
Did you just go forget about it on us?
I
think you did. I think you did.
Oh, yeah, and you have the best pass rusher in the country on the other side.
Yeah, Jared Verse. He's okay.
He's good at football.
He's okay at football.
Yeah, he's good at football. And I'm really glad he's on my team.
All right, so there's your top 4. We got Michigan. We got Washington, Georgia, and Florida State.
That would be my playoff if the playoff was tomorrow. That's the 4 I would have in.
Yes. All right. You want to take a break?
We'll do one more.
All right, we'll do one more.
Because there's one team that I feel like really needs to be talked about, and this is probably people, especially if you don't listen to the show every week and you don't know what I'm getting ready to say. These two teams play this week, and I have a dedicated lane. My 5's Penn State.
Good for you.
My 5 is Penn State. I think Penn State's better than Ohio State.
Okay.
Ask yourself this question. What do I always ask when it comes to picking a game?
Better coach.
Who has a better coach, Penn State or Ohio State?
Penn State.
It's Penn State, and I don't know that it's all that close. Ryan Day is not a great in-game coach.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to bring out Lou Holtz again? Because I'll do it.
Better quarterback. That's Penn State.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Drew Aller is 1, 2, and 4 in this conversation.
Yes, over Kyle McCord, absolutely.
Oh, and you're in the horseshoe. Well, that didn't really seem to bother Maryland now, did it? Until it did. And once it did, it really did. But I don't think Penn State's going to blink. I really don't. I think this team is really good. And for me, the two best teams in the Big Ten are Michigan and Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to get Ohio State unveiled this week. Because they should have lost to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
You got insanely lucky that apparently Freeman just completely forgot how to call a defense in the last 2 minutes of that game. It's not because Kyle McCord did anything special. But here's the flip side of this. Ohio State, old Ryan, old just for men himself. You want to shut people like me up? Come out and win this game.
Absolutely.
And win it convincingly. Because then we'll stop looking at you like you're like you're a speed bump on Michigan's path to a college football playoff.
Right.
I mean, he wants to talk about how tough they are. Okay. Okay. Here's your chance to prove it. And when you don't, and I don't think you will, don't be shocked when it's kind of like a probation violation. Yep. Now you're going to catch what you should have gotten from Notre Dame and this and Maryland, and it's all going to be balled up into one great big ball of anger.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll continue with the college football playoff power ranking for week 9. Is this week 9?
Yeah.
No, 8.
8. It's one week ahead
of the NFL. Week 8 in college football power ranking will continue next here in the Sportsocracy. The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This Friday, don't miss iHeartRadio Icons with the Rolling Stones, celebrating the release of Hackney Diamonds.
Going into this, I said, look, we've got to make a great record.
Hear the exclusive interview.
You know, it can't just be okay. It has to stand up higher than that.
Tracks from the new album, including 7 p.m. on the Classic Rock channel on the free iHeartRadio app.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand, the best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And yes, week 8 in college football is going to be a lot of fun. And it all kicks off at noon on Saturday. Well, actually, I mean, it kicked off last night.
It's Coosa Tuesday. What are you doing? Give credit where credit's due. That was 3 incredibly unwatchable games.
Indeed.
And guess what? You're going to get 2 more tonight.
That's right. That's right. Jeremy's done give you the picks.
With Diego, not Drew. I called him Drew, and I feel bad about that. Diego Pavia.
Yes, he does.
I don't know what got in my head either. I guess I'm just so locked into Drew Aller is just going to eviscerate Ohio State that I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so. He's got more picks coming up for you at the end of this hour with his parlay of the night with the Coosa Tuesday and, of course, the ALCS Game 3 tonight.
Coosa has just not picked up the same traction that Coosa Tuesday just doesn't feel like Maction.
No, it definitely doesn't sound better.
Get Maction next week.
Coosa sounds like something you picked up, I don't know, during an outbreak in the 1920s. Like, I got the Coosa. I can't breathe.
I agreed with you until you said in the 1920s.
Well, okay, where else are you going to pick up these diseases? Anywho, 12 o'clock Saturday afternoon, number 3 Ohio State hosting number 7 Penn State. It's got all the makings of a great one, and I'm pretty sure it will be. Penn State's got to do that one thing, though, that they haven't been able to do.
Knock off one of these teams.
Which is prove that you can outscore Ohio State.
Well, the difference is now you don't have Sean Clifford, who, I know he was a legend in the history of your program. He's not in the same ballpark as Drew Aller.
But this is the game that James Franklin has been waiting for, right? You finally have a team that can deliver a knockout punch to Ohio State, to a Michigan. Now's the time to bring it all together, and it's just, will he be able to coach his way around it?
And I think you're going to. Rob Johnson in our YouTube chat.
I'm your huckleberry.
With a milestone chat, been a member of the House of Reprehensibles for 23 months, and you can do the same by clicking that join button in the YouTube comments. Said McCord's average and the 5-star defensive linemen are also average. Well, that's ironic you said that because my number 6 is Ohio State. And the only reason that I haven't pushed you down further is because I think Penn State's going to take care of that for me this week. Hedge my bets. All right? You beat Penn State. You do something that I don't think you have in you. And I'll buoy you back up there.
Yeah, you got to give them their flowers. You got to prove it on the field.
Well, for me, you need somebody to lose, like, really badly, because there's not a snowball's chance in Atlanta I'm putting you in front of any of the 4 teams that I had in the top 4, barring they lose.
I was going to say unless Ohio State just demolishes Penn State. And then
I don't care if they beat Penn State 117-6. I would not put them in front of Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, or Washington. I do not care. I've seen you. I know what this is. I've read this book. The difference between Oklahoma and Ohio State is not that significant. You can beat bad teams, but you've got a coach that has a track record of taking 5-star kids and turning them into 3-star college football players. You're doing it up and down that defense right now. So prove me wrong. If you prove me wrong, I'll eat the crow. But I don't think you're going to.
All right, number 7.
You're going to call me a homer when I say this? The North Carolina Tar Heels.
Yes, that's what I've been waiting on. Thank you very much.
Look, that's a good team.
The
front is markedly better. The defense is getting better by the week. Yes, it helps when you play teams that don't score really easily. Tez Walker, that's what changes everything. Because now you have the high flyer over the top that I said this weeks ago when we had Jones Angel in this here program. As a Florida State fan, I do not want to see North Carolina in the ACC title game. Duke, I'll play Duke twice. I don't care. I don't want to see North Carolina. Although that would be a really fun game, and the winner would be guaranteed to be in the playoff if you both keep winning.
I hate that you stole my thunder on that one because I thought for sure that was going to be one of those you were going to tell me, oh, you're crazy, you're bitters, Homer Tank again. Got him at 7 this week. Tez Walker makes a big difference in this team. And like I said on Monday, I didn't even realize how good he was until we saw him on display this past week with the 3 touchdowns in the Miami game. And here's the thing. I still don't know if he's comfortable yet. Like, I still don't know if this is peak performance, right? I mean, he's been in practices, but he's been playing against the scrubs, and now this week was the first full week that he had in the rhythm.
Yeah, he was running the scout team, so you're fine.
Does this get better is the question.
Nah, he can get into better shape, but in terms of what you're seeing exactly what I thought he was coming into North Carolina. I just didn't think he was going to get on the field. If you're a Carolina fan, you should circle November 11th, November 18th. You win those 2 games, you're going to be undefeated. You're going to play Florida State in the ACC title game. Because that's Duke at Clemson. And that is 2 really tough opponents, and those are games that historically Carolina loses. You want to prove that things are different? Go win those.
Yep.
Then we have a whole different argument because the next 3 weeks you play Virginia, Georgia Tech, and the Fighting Camels of Campbell. Yep, you're going to be 9-0. And it should be quite comfortably. In the next 3 weeks, Carolina should win by a combined score of, let me do the math in my head, 179-4.
I just love the fact that we, if the ball bounces every way, not saying that this is going to happen, I'm just saying if it did, and we ended up having a top 10 football matchup between Duke and Carolina for the victory bell, because that's in the play here. If they were to pull the shocker of shockers and beat Florida State, and North Carolina keeps winning, they're definitely going to be top 10 teams, right?
Well, I mean, Duke's got to go to Louisville the next week, which, yes, they did just lose a game. I'm well aware of that, but that's you're asking a lot.
I know I'm asking a lot, but when have we ever been here? When have we ever been at this point?
You've never been here.
Exactly.
But it's look, Carolina's really good. It's not an overreaction. That team's going to be a factor.
Yes. All right, number 8.
The Oregon Ducks. I didn't drop you for losing to Washington. I think you're still the same team that I thought you were going into this game. I don't like your coach. I never have. I don't like your quarterback on the road. You run the ball really, really well. Your defense flies around at times. But that coach is going to hold you back because you made a really weird hire when Mario Cristobal left. And it just cost you a shot at a national title. Dan Lanning beat you, period. You did nothing to beat yourself. He beat you because you tempted fate and did that analytic thing too many times. But it's a good team. It's a very good team.
No doubt.
And they'll really shine in the Holiday Bowl or the Cotton Bowl.
I have to imagine you got Oklahoma coming up here next?
Begrudgingly.
Of course, because where else are you going to put them?
Begrudgingly, I have them. Look, I'm still on record. I don't think this team is great. You're the best of the Big 12, and it's by a fraction over Texas, and I will not be shocked if they beat you in the Big 12 title game. And then you both get to see the Cotton Bowl. Or that Holiday Bowl that I just referenced.
Is honestly where you belong.
100%.
Right.
Neither one of you belong in the playoff. The Big 12 is bad, but bad. Cool, you're the graveyard where all the teams that didn't want to fall into mediocrity in the AAC, they landed with you. And you get more of them next year.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good
so you'll have 20 mediocre teams. I just want to hear the Big 12's imaging next year. You know how they do that during college football games? They have this game is brought to you by the Big 12 Conference, and they do all of the little highlights. Like, what's the tagline for this? Big 12 football. Why are you still watching this? Big 12 football. You lost your remote, didn't you?
The Conference of Champions.
Big 12 football, because the SEC can't play in every time slot.
Right. I mean, hell, at this point, with all the teams that they've added, I'm sure they could come up with a great number of, 72 conference titles in the last 40 years. I mean, none of them were from this conference, but we've got conference championships. You mark my words.
Our conference has a bigger footprint than any conference in the history of college football, because we have 36 schools in 35 states. Big 12 football coming at ya.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back, it'll be time to get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Right, getting into our afternoon and seeing the clouds and the chilly weather sticking around. Some of us maybe not even hitting 50 degrees today. Slight chance of a shower early. Overnight tonight, a chance of showers early, then some clearing later. A little breezy, 42, 30s in the normally cooler spots. Tuesday, sunny, 60. On Wednesday, sunshine milder, 66. Thursday, sunshine, 67. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Like fine wine. They just get better with age. Okay, aging sucks. Pair this one with a beer. The new Rock 105.1.
How powerful are new power scratch-offs? More powerful than this hair metal band's signature scream.
No way, baby!
Power scratch-offs are packed with prizes and have power spots for more cash wins.
Show me the money! Feel the power of a win!
With power scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.23 to 4.57. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Join the Asheville Symphony Saturday, October 21st for a stunning classical concert featuring acclaimed pianist Drew Peterson playing Ravel's Piano Concerto, plus Ravel's vibrant orchestration of Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition and more. Don't miss the second concert in Asheville Symphony's Masterwork series, The Great Gate, Saturday, October 21st, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tickets on sale now at AshevilleSymphony.org or by phone at 828-254-7046 or at the Asheville Symphony box office at 27 College Place.
All across the Tar Heel State, this is Carolina football.
Stepping through a tackle and stepping to the end zone. It is pouring points in Chapel Hill.
Holy cow, Carolina's going to win! The Heels continue their homestand against Virginia. Pre-game coverage starts at 5:30, kickoff at 6:30 on your home for Carolina football.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll continue with the power rankings here in just a moment, but first it's that time to get weird. All right, let's talk about this guy who kind of just went out of his mind here for a second. So this guy, he goes, this is up in Pennsylvania, and he goes to an animal rescue. And he feels like his dog should be at this animal rescue. Apparently his dog went missing, and he thought the Blue Chip Animal Refuge had his dog. So he goes up there, and he starts threatening him, hey, you better give me my dog back, or... And I guess somebody looked at him and said, or what? And to which he whipped out a pistol, started threatening people. Don't do that. That's crimes. I don't know which one he came out with first, whether it was the pistol or the badge, but at some point, both were displayed to the people, and he was obviously threatening, give me my dog now, or I guess I'm going to shoot you, or I'm going to arrest you. Well, the problem is he can't arrest anybody because he's a former police officer. Now,
so you mean they didn't do that television thing of give me your badge and gun that you bought?
Or he had an extra one, or I don't know. So anyway, he's flashing a badge. He's flashing the gun. He even had an ID card that was from the police department at Wilkes University, which that one would have got me like, so you're a college cop. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to. Anyway, so now he's facing, obviously, charges for harassment, trespassing, and impersonating a public servant. Good job. Good job. You know what? Former cops now just don't care. Just crimes. We're going to do crimes. Don't care.
Don't do crimes.
Jeez.
My story sounds like a crime, but it's not. This is about a Boeing 737-800 that took off from Panama. Was headed for Tampa. They take off, and then they fly for a bit, and then they divert back to the airport in Panama. They went to a private airstrip where the bomb explosives canine unit, the police special explosives canine unit, and special forces were brought in. They were not told what had happened. They found what they thought was an explosive device in the bathroom. You want to take a guess what it was?
Crimes.
Well, not in the broadest terms of crimes.
Okay.
It was a soiled adult diaper that had been tied off and thrown into the potty.
Yeah, that's not crimes. I mean, if you have problems with that, that's
They discovered it was obviously not an explosive device, and the only thing that I could think about was, can you imagine being the person that's sitting in your fresh Depends going, don't ask. See, here's what happened, Dake. I have some very specific dietary problems, and have you ever had a plantain? They're really they're not good for my digestive system. How did you think that was a bomb? It's just,
I don't know. Was it vibrating?
I hope not. If it was, we got way more questions.
Modern bombs don't tick; they vibrate, and we never assume possession. In the event
you talk about a man that needed a hug. Like, if somebody just needs to give that fella a hug and tell him it's gonna be okay.
I mean, he dropped a bomb, that's for sure. It wasn't the one they were looking for, though. See, you're talking about the person who left it. Like, I'm thinking about the guy who went in there. Like, he's ready to meet his maker, right? Like, that's a job that you have to be ready at any moment. Like, something's going to happen. I got my canine dog here. We're sniffing out bombs and stuff, and like at any moment, I could go meet my maker because this could actually be one. And I get up there, and it's just poo in a diaper.
I would like to have seen the reaction from the dog of, wait a minute, like, I am a dog. You do know that, right? So I have certain things that I like that I'm not supposed to.
No, they don't do that. They don't do that.
I mean, it's still a dog, all right?
I get it, but it's a specially trained dog. Right?
That's where I wish I could read a dog's mind.
Isn't that a rule for the canine officers? Like no eating feces on the clock? I mean, I can't be on my phone. Why can Fido be eating his stools on the clock? That's just not fair.
I feel like the dog walks in and goes, "You're screwing with me, right?" like it's the test. This is the test. I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to sit on my butt. I'm not going to do anything. Just, nope. No.
Yeah.
A training exercise.
No, Adam Black. I don't think so. If it is, I'm not sure. He asked me if I was wearing a QAnon shirt.
I can't see it.
It says "One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." Like,
that's not a QAnon thing, is it?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Although, if anybody in this
if
room
they
would
sell this on a QAnon website, please send me the link so I can have the verification and burn it.
I was about to say,
I don't
although
want that.
if anybody in this room could be sucked into a cult, it's certainly Tank.
Is it though? I mean, you're the one that's obsessed with all the culty things.
As skeptical as I am of everything that comes out of anybody's mouth. As soon as somebody breaks out the Kool-Aid, I'm gonna be like that dog going, "You're screwing with me, right?" This is. I have to go now.
Yeah, anti-confrontational me. Just go along to get along. What, you want me to drink that Kool-Aid? Okay,
Of course I'll drink that Kool-Aid.
Just stop coming to my door, okay, and I'll drink the Kool-Aid.
Have I ever told you the story about...
It's almost how I became a Jehovah's Witness.
It's funny you said that. Have I ever told you the story about the Jehovah's Witnesses that came to... somehow I got on like a list, and they were... This was right after I got out of college. And... they were showing...
By the way, hey, if there are any Jehovah's Witnesses listening...
You're not going to get me.
Where is the list? And can I put Jeremy on it, please? Because this is a new YouTube series that we need to launch right now.
So they
Jeremy answers his door in the underwear on a Saturday afternoon.
You're beating me to the punchline of the story.
Excuse me, keep going.
So they were showing up at my door at 8 a.m. every Saturday morning. Now, I don't know how much you know about me, but Friday night, that's kind of me time.
Yep.
So 8 o'clock, it's not really a time that I'm looking for callers. So I devised a plan because at this time I was much more non-confrontational than I am now. I devised a plan of I'm going to lose an article of clothing every week until they get the point. Yep. We took that one all the way. That was an uncomfortable moment. Talk about needing a hug. I needed a hug.
Yeah.
When you got Shirley and Walter Jehovah here at your front door and you're just going full meatpacking plant.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I tried, okay? You didn't pick up on it. I have slammed this door 8 weeks in a row. Take me off your list.
That is brilliant.
That would be like, I don't know.
I had my own Jehovah's Witness run-in when I lived in Memphis, and I had some come to the door routinely in the apartment complex that I lived in, and I was able to ignore them most of the time, but there was one time that I was not. And I won't tell you what I said to that young gentleman who was just a fun-loving soldier for Christ, or whatever. But I had to pray a lot to ask for forgiveness for the things that I said to him to get him to not come back to my door. So I've been there. Sometimes you just want to be left alone. Right?
I have another story in this same vein that I will tell on the Uncensored show that will be debuting next week. Somebody remind me of that because it is absolutely hilarious. And it's almost as funny as resident pastor of the program, Adam Black, saying, they won't come to my house. Did a cult paper in seminary on Jehovah's Witnesses and Scientology. They don't want this smoke. Let's go. Seminary battle royal, and I'm back in the Macho Man Adam Black.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Don't come to this house.
You don't want this smoke. I love everything about what was just said right there.
Yep.
That's what you get on this program. You're welcome, America.
That's great.
And by the way, I'm never going to call him anything but the Macho Man Adam Black from now on.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. And we got to continue here with our college football playoff power rankings.
Do we have to? Because now I just want to recite 80s and 90s wrestling catchphrases back and forth. What you gonna do? Sorry, my brain just went down. You talk about me going down rabbit holes? I'm so far down this one that I just poked out in China. There's so many things I wanted to say
Don't
right
do
there.
That. She doesn't like that. Power rankings, week 8 in the NFL. We've given you our top of the power rankings here.
We broke Tank. New Tank is the funniest person I think I've ever met in my life.
You set me up for it.
I laugh more at New Tank than I've laughed at any other person in the history of time.
The top 4. If everything ended today, we just said screw it, let's get to the college football playoff. The top 4 at the moment would be for the both of us would be Michigan, Washington, Georgia, and Florida State. Penn State, Ohio State, North Carolina, Oregon is as far as we've gotten, correct?
I disclosed that Oklahoma was next begrudgingly.
Oklahoma is next.
Yeah, remember we talked about the Big 12 and we gave them what I think were some formidable ideas for their tagline for next year.
This is how I kind of feel about the list when we get this far down. Like, you have to either go Oklahoma begrudgingly because they haven't lost a game, but you know they're eventually going to step up or step back and lose one of these games. And then you go just a whole bunch of, I guess this is where I have them. That's what I did. I get to this point and I go, okay, so Oklahoma, I'm with you. Then Texas, just by default, comes after? Is that where you're at?
Yep. That's exactly what I did because Texas is my 10.
And then Alabama?
Nope.
No?
I don't have Alabama in the top 13. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to.
Okay.
You cannot score. And it's adorable that your defense it's good. Jalen Milroe is awful. I don't know that I've ever been more right about anything than how completely irrelevant Alabama was without a quarterback. Now, by the way, you want to talk about a school that is going to pony up some serious NIL dollars in the offseason. Whoever the biggest transfer quarterback in the portal is, they're going to Alabama.
Yes. No doubt about it.
But yeah, Texas is my 10, and then I do this every week. Those are the 10 I had to put in the poll. Now the next 3 are the 3 that I just think are the 3 best teams left on the board.
Okay.
My 11's Oregon State. I know they have a loss. I'm well aware of that. Practically everybody else does. And I'm not going Air Force here. But, Oregon State's loss was at Washington State. It was really late. You've already beaten Utah. You've already beaten UCLA. And you pretty well drug both of them down the sidewalk. Jonathan Smith has done an unbelievable job with that school. They get no love whatsoever, and maybe it's because I'm very pro Beavers. Oregon State is a school that I like quite a bit. I think they've done a whale of a job there. Tank didn't laugh like a girl. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
That school deserves more credit than it gets. I was on the wrong side of the 2 schools that were left out of the Pac-12 thing. I was on Washington State. I should have been on Oregon State.
Okay.
And Washington State, you will never hear me say that name again.
Yikes.
It's always fun when you got a betting slip, you got a 6-legger that's waiting on that late hammer. You realize 5 minutes in the game, I'm on the wrong side of this.
Yep.
And now I have to take mini doubloons and cover my tuchus with the Wildcats.
Did you put a whole bunch on a 6-legger?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was covering what I had lost.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I was like, wow, that seems bold.
Because I had Washington money line because I got a little wimpy on the spread.
I was going to say, as long as I've known you to do a lot of parlays and never put a dime on any of them. You know what I mean.
I've never put more than, I think the most I ever put on a parlay was $100 and I hit it.
Okay.
That was a good day. That was a good day.
Absolutely. All right. After Oregon State.
Hotty toddy, Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I know they don't play defense at all.
They're fun.
But they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they score points, and I like Jackson Dart. I mean, this is a point where beauty is very much in the eye of the beholder. And you look at Ole Miss, for me, your one loss was at Alabama. You got one over LSU, got one over Tulane, got a couple more chances. Basically, your only chances to be really impressive are Texas A&M in your place and at Georgia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Ole Miss is probably going to go 10-2. Mm-hmm. Are they a threat to national teams? No, probably not. But if that Georgia game was at Ole Miss, you'd have a shot. I think you have a shot in Georgia.
I think they've got a shot anyway.
Not a great shot.
Not a great shot, but you got a shot, especially if Georgia's going to be without their best player. Okay, I had Notre Dame in my 12 spot.
Notre Dame's my 13.
Okay.
You have two losses, so I yes, I know who the two losses were to. I got to push you down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But heads up, I still think Notre Dame's really good.
Mm-hmm. But I looked at everybody ahead of them, in the rankings or people around them and go, I just think they're better. Head-to-head, they'd beat all these teams.
I agree. I think they would beat Alabama heads up. I think they'd beat Utah. I think they'd beat Duke.
Maybe I'm going too far.
They already did beat USC.
Maybe I'm going too far on this, but my 13 this week is the Duke Blue Devils.
I get it. I have a funny feeling, and this is one of those things that I'm going to say, and it may come back to haunt me. I have a really weird feeling that Duke is about to get humbled.
Maybe so, but
because
so far they haven't.
The games against. So they played very tight with Notre Dame. They played very tight with Clemson.
Yes.
Do you realize that the only other time they've been on the road all year was at UConn?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going into Tallahassee, which is probably going to be as loud as it's ever been. Because this is a primetime game, which they've had over the last few years, but they were a dog in most of them. So now you're going in here with a fan base that has a renewed sense of we're a contender. And you've got there's this national mindset that Florida State's going to lay that grumper. And I feel like Mike Norvell's been hammering that in their heads because I saw a different team against Syracuse than I had seen in the past. I just have a really funny – I'll go ahead and tell you that's one of the bangers this week. I'm taking Florida State. I'm laying the number. I don't care.
Don't care what it is.
I don't. Because this is a spot to me Florida State has to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
Because Miami could easily keep losing games. Florida could keep losing games. And you don't have a whole lot of places where you can be really impressive. Nobody's walking away from North Alabama going, oh, yeah, we got to let them in the playoff. So that's the rallying cry to me is you look at the schedule, this is the last ranked team on it.
13.5's a lot, though.
14.5.
Oh, it's 14.5. Interesting.
There it was. It may have come down.
Yeah, I think I'd be on the Duke side of that one. Just, but I'm not the gambler, because I think.
And this is not a shot at Duke's not good.
I get it.
Duke would have been probably my 14.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a shot that they're not good. You're walking into something that you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you've been at Duke. You haven't really played a whole lot of games that matter. You're walking into a national big boys house. And that's a sleeping tiger that has really wanted a reason to be this up for a game for a really long time.
Yes, it has. It's going to be a different kind of atmosphere, no doubt about it. Something about that Mike Elko team, though.
I love Mike Elko. I think he's a great coach. Duke should be running to lock him up with a buyout that it would buy that portion of an NFL team that Caleb Williams wants to be handed for being drafted number 1.
Right. I agree with you. There's something about that team is real scrappy, and they're gonna give Florida State all they can handle this weekend. That's why I look at that 2-score spread and go, I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. It is the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We got more bangers coming up next. Hey, you want to go to the Asheville Championship? 2 days, November 10th and the 12th, live at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville. The Asheville Championship featuring college basketball games with Clemson, Maryland, UAB, and Davidson. I got 2 tickets for each day going out right now. Give me a call at 225-4988, 225-4988, AshevilleChampionship.com. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Parlay time. I got 5 on it. Coosa Wednesday and the Creed Banger Texas Rangers. I gave you in the first hour FIU and New Mexico State. So I'm going to parlay all of these together. FIU in the money line, under 41.5. New Mexico State minus the 3 because they're going to win by a lot. Over 47.5, Diego Pavia, anytime touchdown scorer. Sorry for calling you Drew earlier. And then I'm going to wrap in the Texas Rangers in the money line, under 9.5 runs, and Corey Seager to hit a home run at some point because, well, that's all we do in baseball now. Ground balls and home runs. And, well, frankly, it's much more watchable than it's ever been before. You put 5 on it, just like I am. That turns into $1,218.37. You can take those wagers to betus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy. Get a 125% deposit match on your initial investment and up to 30 risk-free bets so you can wager football and Creed Bangers with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Right, getting into our afternoon and see the clouds and the chilly weather sticking around. Some of us maybe not even hitting 50 degrees today. Slight chance of a shower early. Overnight tonight, a chance of showers early, then some clearing later. A little breezy, 42, 30s in the normally cooler spots. Tuesday, sunny, 60. On Wednesday, sunshine milder, 66. Thursday, sunshine, 67. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
Lowe's knows pros want savings now. That's why, as an MVP's Pro Rewards member, you get volume savings on orders of $1,500 or more at the Pro Desk. And there's more. We've lowered our prices on select top products like electrical wire and drywall, so you can get the job necessities for less. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. In-store only. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
It's the season of back to school, back to work, and back to all the wonderful fun, flavors, and friendships that make fall one of the best times of the year. For us at Ingalls, it's the season of festivals, fairs, and favorite dishes. And from football kickoffs to baseball playoffs, from farm fields to soccer fields, we'll be there to help this fall be the best season of the year. Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Deposit. That's deposit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from your friends at ESPN Asheville. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Take it back!
City Sports Talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Watch us here in the Ingalls studio. And, hey, it's time for the Daily Draft. Top of the third hour of the program. And today we'll be discussing NFL MVP. Third of the way through the season. Where are you putting your confidence in the MVP race?
Courtney Cronin put out an MVP watch on ESPN.com today.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of names thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this was a poll of the NFL Nation writers. We got as deep as somebody said Jesse Bates.
Excuse me?
That's with a top 10 vote.
Wow.
He's been phenomenal. But we're going a little kooky here.
I mean, it's safe. I feel pretty sure safety is never going to win the MVP.
No. No.
I mean, I could be wrong about that.
But I have guys on my list that are not just quarterbacks.
Really?
I do.
Interesting. All right. Well, first pick. Is that me?
Yep.
I'll go with Tua.
He is currently the betting favorite at plus 350.
I mean, I feel like if there's anybody that's going to put up the crazy stats, that's going to have a once-in-a-lifetime kind of season, because, I mean, that's what this award is, right? Guys that play above and beyond what they've ever played before. I feel like you got a lot of retreads, or at least one retread behind him in Patrick Mahomes.
He is putting up video game stats.
I know.
I mean, video game stats.
And I know you want to
He is over a yard per attempt higher than every other quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. And you got to give your flowers to the offense around him, but all in all, it's the quarterback that gets the flowers for that, right? That's the one that gets all the press, all the hype. Tua Tagovailoa continues to stay healthy. He was on pace for a MVP season last year, and he continues to be this year. That Miami offense is just terrifying to everybody. I get that 70 points of their performance came in one game already, but that's how dangerous this team is, and they're going to continue scoring in the 30s every week.
I agree, and right now I do think he is he's the odds-on favorite. I would be remiss if I didn't point out there are some of these things that are not going to continue. I'm going to ask a trivia stat, and I want to see if you get this right.
Okay.
There is one quarterback in the NFL that has started every one of his team's games. It's a really important delineation. That has been sacked fewer times than the 6 that Tua Tagovailoa has been sacked. Name that quarterback.
Geno Smith.
No. Geno is 11.
Josh Allen.
Fire them cannons! It's Baker Mayfield, who's played one less game and has been sacked 5 times.
Okay.
I don't know why my brain just shut down on 5. That's an insane stat.
Mm-hmm.
And the vast majority of those happen against the Buffalo Bills. So I agree with you. If I'd had the number 1 pick, it would have been Tua as well. I don't necessarily know that that's where I'm throwing my shekels, though.
Okay.
You are correct that Pat Mahomes is the retread.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see a path that he's the last man surviving. So he's going to be my first pick.
Okay.
Because I'm going to go the path of least resistance. That makes the most sense. You carry out through 17 games. You got the lack of receivers. There's no Tyreek. They haven't really replaced Juju Smith-Schuster. It's a bunch of young guys and Travis Kelce. I 100% see where that narrative could come in and how that could go exactly that way. My second selection, and if I mean this completely, if I had an MVP vote and I had to fill it out right now, my pick would be Jared Goff.
Okay. I like it.
He's plus 2,000. He is currently 8th in MVP balloting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the ones in front of him. Jalen Hurts is 4th, which is damn near the most comical thing I've ever seen in my life. Watch the games. I don't know what else to say to you there. Brock Purdy is 5. Christian McCaffrey is 6. I don't see a path that any of the 3 of them win this. Jalen Hurts, unless something radically changes, and the other 2, I don't see anything changing because they're going to steal votes from each other. And there's going to be enough intelligent people in the room that go, we're not giving the MVP to Brock Purdy. Like,
right.
Come on.
Right.
Jared Goff, right now, this award is called the most valuable player. It's not the best player. Listen to the name of the title.
Mm-hmm.
My argument right now is Jared Goff is the most valuable player in the NFL because he is the guy that keeps that offense on pace. Yes, they're running the ball a lot. Yes, they lean on Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot. They're also getting a lot out of Josh Reynolds. Is Josh Reynolds a great player? No. But man, Jared Goff is awful accurate. Awful accurate.
This team's going to have to win all of the games for him to get over that hump. Will he not? Will they not?
How do I want to say this? The Detroit Lions are going to win this division by a lot. All right, we talked about how tough the NFC East is. Talked about how tough their schedules are. Talked about the NFC West, how tough it is having San Francisco and Seattle both in that division. Detroit's really played the toughest part of their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's that untoward to say there is a possibility that the Detroit Lions end up as the 1 seed in the NFC. And if they do, I don't see how he doesn't win it. Because who else are you going to give the credit to? Dan Campbell will win Coach of the Year in a walk. And Jared Goff would win the MVP.
Yeah.
And look up and down that schedule. How many defenses are you legit scared of? Oh, you play the Ravens this week. Then you go Raiders, Chargers, Bears, Packers, Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings. There's 2 potential losses on that entire schedule unless you just absolutely beat yourself. The Detroit Lions are going to finish 13-4, I would say 12-5 at the absolute worst, so long as they stay healthy. And you see a Detroit Lions team at 12-5, you don't think the AP writers are going to give a lot of credit to whoever that quarterback is?
Yeah.
That's my favorite bet on the board right now. Jared Goff at plus 2,000. You do have to have a little bit of a narrative, but I can absolutely make it make sense.
I was going to say, is that not a good enough one, though?
Oh, it's no doubt a good enough.
Right. Is it not a good enough narrative that Jared Goff has been
Ask yourself this. And maybe this will tie this argument together for you.
Okay.
Take the teams out. If the New York Jets had done this exact same thing with Aaron Rodgers, he'd have walked away with the MVP.
Yes.
Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Detroit's the same franchise. They don't have the same number of fans in the media, so it's a little bit different of a story. But to me, I can write that narrative, and it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. All right. It does make a lot of sense.
Especially in a year that there's not really a clear cut. If Tua falls off a cliff or, God forbid, gets hurt, where do you turn to then? It would be Pat by default right now. Well, what happens if KFC's not the one seed in the AFC? Yeah, I turned that into one thing.
I love it.
I turned that into KFC.
You did.
I'm a big dumb animal.
I was going to let it slide, but now I can't.
I can't either, because now all I want is some finger licking good.
All right, you went Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff. I was not expecting the Jared Goff, but I completely get where you're coming from. Let's see. At this point, I got to go if I had to put my money on somebody right now. Good night. I just have such big like buts with both of these quarterbacks that I'm looking at, because it's a quarterback award in the end. So I feel like the only smart thing to do is go with another quarterback before I start throwing in non-quarterbacks.
Because this is a quarterback award.
Yes,
Offensive Player of the Year goes to Christian McCaffrey or whoever, the Tyreek Hill.
I will go with Josh Allen, though. I believe he is, what's he, plus 700 now, somewhere in that neighborhood?
700.
If his team continues to win a bunch of games, which they're going to do, it's going to be because of him, right? he's the straw that stirs the drink there. Stephon Diggs makes him better, but you still can't run. And if you keep winning games, it's going to be on your arm or on your legs or whatever.
The only reason that I didn't take Josh Allen that high is I feel like you were expected to win the AFC East, and you're going to lose games that don't make any sense. You've already lost one to the Jets. The Giants hung in with you. I just don't know that media members are going to get past that.
Depending on how good the rest of the season goes, there's a path. There's a path for it.
You talk about an evil
I feel like
schedule.
this is a two-man race right now. I feel like in the NFL, this is Tua Tagovailoa, Patrick Mahomes, end of discussion. If both of them make it to the end of the season and keep winning games like they're doing and keep putting up the stats like they're putting them up, nobody else is going to have a chance to win this award.
I don't agree with you in any way. I really don't.
Yeah, I want to get on board with you with the Jared Goff thing, but I don't see a path.
Well, we really don't like giving the MVP to a guy 2 years in a row who won it last year. Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're not going to do that if at all humanly possible. Tua right now is the hope of that. If something changes there, to me, this becomes super wide open. And that's the reason that you've got 14 guys inside of plus 5,000. Do you know how unheard of that is?
No.
7 weeks into the season?
No.
That's never how this goes. All right, I'll give you a point of comparison. In college football, you're 1 week ahead, so you're a little bit further into the season. If you look at the Heisman, how many guys are inside of plus 5,000? Inside of it, not sitting on it.
4.
8.
Okay.
7. Actually, sorry, I added. Nope, I was right. 8. My bad. Math. Usually by this time, you've had a clear delineation. I don't see that because I've got several more that I could easily tell you the story of how they win it.
Wow. Because I don't. Because I honestly don't. Like I said, I feel like it's Tua and Pat, and everybody else is hoping that one of those guys, not necessarily goes down, but stops playing the way he's playing, and then maybe one of us has a chance to win this thing.
And to me, as the gambler, I look at Tua as I'm not getting nearly enough value there because he does have the injury history, and that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell the story with Josh Allen. All right, they go 12-5 because look at that schedule. I can't see a way that they're any better than that.
Right.
12-5 does not make you the one seed in the AFC. He's going to have a couple games that beat them. That's enough.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think Josh Allen's a sucker bet at this point. Now, if the odds drop significantly more, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I will take a shot on the odds, and I'm going to take it with Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's plus 2,200 right now. And, is he everything that he was billed to be? No, we all agree with that. But here's the thing. He is playing pretty well. And if that Jacksonville team keeps winning games like we expect them to, remember we went through this, and there was a time where, Jeremy, you and I went, this is a chance that this team could have the number one seed in the AFC regarding their schedule. Now, things have changed, obviously, since the preseason, and some teams are better than others, or better than we thought they would be. Those Texans games aren't, the no-doubter wins that we thought they would be. But Trevor's got a path to win this thing if that team keeps winning.
There were 3 names that I really wanted, and you just took one of them.
Yay! That's how I know.
Because I can tell the story on Trevor Lawrence, too. Jacksonville does what I said they would do in the preseason. They wind up as the one seed in the AFC because you're going to have to go on a whale of a tear.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're already sitting on 2 losses. I would say you have to be 13-4 or possibly better to be the one in the AFC. So you're going to end this season
within reach,
no doubt, because I don't see many losses on that schedule.
No, you got San Francisco, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Baltimore. That's 4 games that I see. I could see you possibly losing.
Yeah, I'll put you at 11-6.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm wrong, it's 12-5, and you're the one seed because of the tiebreakers. I could easily see a path that Trevor Lawrence wins it.
Yep.
But you left me with 2 that I feel pretty good about.
Okay.
But it's time to take a break.
Aw.
So I'll let you think about your selections and laugh when I take them both right after this break.
The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. If you're like many people, you may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
Lowe's knows pros want savings now. That's why, as an MVP's Pro Rewards member, you get volume savings on orders of $1,500 or more at the Pro Desk. And there's more. We've lowered our prices on select top products like electrical wire and drywall, so you can get the job necessities for less. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. In-store only. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer, and some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate razor, while others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
It's time for the fall haul at Northern Tool and Equipment. Get your hands on tough tools at prices that are tough to ignore. Got plans? Cancel them. Trucks in the shop? Borrow someone else's. Don't like saving money? Right. So head to the fall haul at Northern Tool. Back up the truck for the season's biggest event and save on generators, power tools, trailers, and more. Shop in-store or at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumping a bag of hammers.
Malik Neighbors.
No.
Dang it. I hate it when he gets me into these guessing games and I can't ever get what he's trying to throw out to me.
No, I asked him, hey, you know what? We'll throw it to the chat.
Yeah.
Top 5 NIL deals in college football. If you get 4 of the 5 of them, we'll give you a prize.
There you go.
We'll get you some Asheville championship tickets.
Yeah. And a T-shirt.
Yeah. Yes.
Sportsocracy T-shirt. Actually, you can have my QAnon T-shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Nobody wants
I got this one from Newsmax, and the guys at ONN are really going to be mad at me.
It's OAN.
Or whatever.
It bothers me that I knew that.
It shouldn't. Your daddy raised you better.
There are at least 5 people looking at the radio right now going, you don't really believe that. You're right. We don't.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. All right, so top 5 in NIL in the NFL. Get your guesses into the chat. I already uncovered one of them, but I've whiffed on every other guess that I've made. So I'm going to need you guys to pick up the slack on that one. We're in the midst of the daily draft. We're talking NFL MVPs. Third of the way through the season, I got to go.
Jackass just dropped the mic and went, I got 4 or 5, no big deal.
Got them all.
He got 1 through 4.
Nice.
Shedeur Sanders is 1.
Okay.
At just under $5 million.
Wow.
Arch Manning is 2. Caleb Williams is 3. Travis Hunter is 4. The one he didn't get, Spencer Rattler.
Huh?
That was the one that I thought the 4 and 5 would trip people up.
Ew.
Jackass, shoot me a message after the show. We'll get a lovely prize out your way.
Absolutely. Good job, dude. I wasn't even thinking Arch Manning.
He damn near did it in order, too.
Yeah, that's impressive. Good for you, Jack. Way to go. Daily draft here. MVP candidates. I started out with the number 1 pick. I got to go with the odds-on favorite at this point. That's Tua Tagovailoa. Jeremy went, of course, the default, which is always Patrick Mahomes. It can always be Patrick Mahomes at the top of this list. And then Jared Goff as his number 2. Plus 2,000 on the year. You tell me the Detroit Lions have some unbelievable run here to the end of the season, and he doesn't get credit for it? I see where you're going with that. I went Josh Allen, and then Trevor Lawrence as my next 2 quarterbacks to win possibly the MVP. Or who I would wager on anyway. All right, Jeremy.
Well, we acknowledge this is a quarterback award.
Yes.
I told you when we started this, I've got to be able to tell the narrative, tell the story of how you're going to win this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are a couple divisions that are really hotly contested, and 2 teams that pretty universally we believe in. And I'm talking about across the entire industry. But they've started a little clunky. And if you can get hot in the second half of the season, that really screams MVP campaign to me. Well, the 2 I've got are in the same division.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Lamar gets acclimated into this Todd Monken system. starts putting up more rushing stats than he has. And by the end of the year, you look at it and go, good Lord, he led the league in total touchdowns or something ridiculous like that. And Baltimore wins that division, goes in with as a home team, and you got Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore, Jacksonville that are all within like a game of each other. Nobody really walked away with it.
Yeah.
And you've got a tie at the top of the AFC, and it went to a tiebreaker.
I feel like a lot has to happen to make that work, though. I'm still off with this offense. Like, something's not clicking. And if Todd Monken can figure it out and make it seamless, then, yeah, I'm with you. Lamar will have to have a Herculean, 2/3 of the season to be able to
he would
do
have
this.
to be special.
Yes.
But somebody's going to be special. You said this is a 2-horse race. I would implore you.
Right
if
now.
you that's what I'm saying. You beat me to the punch.
Oh, okay.
I implore you. I don't think it's going to end that way. Because nobody has distanced themselves out of statistically with Tua, and there's a lot that I could tell the story on.
Okay, so you go Lamar Jackson and Kenny Pickett. Yeah, bold strategy. Let's go.
Joe Burrow.
Oh.
If Joe brings this Bengals team back to win the division, I don't think this one's even that hard for anybody to figure out how I got there.
No, absolutely not. No one will begrudge you on that one. Joe Burrow, he lives in that rarefied air, or has the first few years of his career, and he'll continue to do so, and he has all the weapons to make it happen. And so Cincinnati goes on a run here. There's no doubt that Joe's going to get the bulk of the credit there.
Well, and he's also in that lineage of quarterbacks that they haven't won an MVP, and you're gonna. We did this for a really long time. We got 5 quarterbacks that all need to win an MVP at some point.
Yep.
When are you going to have the year that makes it to where we can give it to you? And right now I'm looking at Tua, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, and Joe Burrow. Yeah, you're the ones in the queue. So if you really give me a reason that you were way better than the rest of those 4, you're probably the one's going to win it.
All right, my next selection for the MVP.
I'm curious how long it takes before you take not a quarterback.
Right here, Christian McCaffrey. Look, he's got the oblique injury, I know, but he may not miss a game, right? He could play this week against Minnesota.
Time. He may not miss a game this time.
Sure, but at this point, it's hard to argue with what he's been able to throw out there. And if he continues this little streak of scoring a touchdown every game, how big could this get? He's already tied the NFL record, 15 straight games with a touchdown. That's a narrative in and of itself. And then if you keep San Francisco, he's on the field, he gets past whatever injury this is and stays healthy and keeps scoring, he is the catalyst of that offense. I get that on great teams, mostly the quarterbacks get the props here. And Brock Purdy's going to get his. But I think at the end of the season, we may come to the realization, or maybe they'll come to the realization, that Brock Purdy is what he is. He's a great system quarterback in that system. And the reason that this thing works so well is because of Christian McCaffrey, not because of Brock Purdy.
Right now, Christian McCaffrey is the leading non-quarterback, and he's the only one anywhere close at plus 1,500. Right behind Brock Purdy. And then
I'll go back to quarterback because he's high on the list, and it'll be the same kind of thing that Jeremy did with Lamar Jackson. If the second half of the season turns around, the offense gets a little better, he starts doing the things that he did last year, then Jalen Hurts is going to be right back in this discussion. And this might be the best price you ever get for him, right? Or the best odds that you're ever going to get on him. They start figuring it out, and he starts rushing for touchdowns again. He'll be on the short list.
Oh, I'm really glad you did that because I wasn't taking Jalen Hurts under any circumstances.
I knew
that. There is a guy that is not a quarterback. The odds are way too low. He's plus 4,000 right now. It's Tyreek Hill. And let me tell you how this happens. Tua misses a couple games. Mike White comes in. He still destroys the NFL receiving record. Do you know what he's on pace to do right now?
What?
The single season receiving record is Calvin Johnson 2012. Do you remember how many yards he had?
20.
Nope.
No.
Nobody's ever broken 2,000. He came close.
It was like
1964.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say that too.
1964. Through week 6, Tyreek Hill is on pace for 119 catches for 2,306 yards. That means he would beat the record by almost 400 yards.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, especially if you do it where there is a quarterback and you got a different quarterback for a couple games, that opens it up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people are leaning on the wrong non-quarterback to win this. You're going to need a small act of God for a non-quarterback to win the MVP. Tyreek Hill is 6 weeks into pulling that off because he's what's making that offense go. Jalen Waddle's a great piece, don't get me wrong. The reason this offense is so good is because Tyreek Hill's doing that exact same thing that he did with the Chiefs with the Dolphins. And having another speed burner on the other side, it's impossible to defend. He's going to keep putting up cartoon numbers. I was thinking about this looking at DraftKings pricing going into this week. At what point do we get to $10,000 for Tyreek Hill? Because he's going to do this practically every week this season. You would have to have a special corner that could man him up one-on-one. Oh, by the way, we already saw that with Pat Surtain. It didn't go so well. To keep him from having these games. I'm not going to lie. When you pulled up this topic, I dropped a bill on Tyreek Hill to win the MVP.
You? Good for you.
At plus 4,000, and it's that easy for me to figure out how you win it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like money a lot, especially when it requires very little to make very much.
Sure. Worth a shot at that price or at those odds. I completely understand that. The problem is I don't think he can break the record. He'll have to break the record.
I don't just think he's going to break it. I think he's going to eviscerate.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is I think you'll have to break the record to be in consideration.
No doubt.
Tua's going to also have to miss games because if he doesn't and he plays all the games, then Tua's getting the majority of the credit there. It will be we have the MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year because there's no chance that he doesn't get Offensive Player of the Year if he does that.
Correct.
It's not a bad bet.
So I just did some mathing. I'm curious if you can get close to this.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill is on pace for 2,306 yards. All right, that is 370 yards ahead of where Calvin Johnson was.
Okay.
If you subtract 370, which is the difference where they're at right now, from Calvin Johnson,
mm-hmm.
that puts it at 1,596. How many times has a receiver had 1,596 yards in a season?
Any of them all time?
Yeah. I mean, it's a number.
I'll say 27.
It's 28.
Ooh. So close.
28 times. So you're going to beat the record by a amount that only a handful of people have come that close to the record.
Right.
Yeah, I see the path that you do this.
Yeah.
I'm not even 100% sure Tua would have to get hurt in that. He would have to not break any of the records, and Waddle would have to fall off. It would have to the offense would have to centrally run through him if Tua played every game.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell the story.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Right, getting into our afternoon and see the clouds and the chilly weather sticking around. Some of us maybe not even hitting 50 degrees today. Slight chance of a shower early. Overnight tonight, a chance of showers early, then some clearing later. A little breezy, 42, 30s in the normally cooler spots. Tuesday, sunny, 60. On Wednesday, sunshine milder, 66. Thursday, sunshine, 67. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. If you're like many people, you may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
How powerful are new power scratch-offs? More powerful than this hair metal band's signature scream.
No way, baby!
Power scratch-offs are packed with prizes and have power spots for more cash wins.
Show me the money! Feel the power of a win!
With power scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.23 to 4.57. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Market. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer. We're back in the Ingalls studio, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Hey, crimes are being done, and that means we get to talk about stupid crime. All right, that is the new jingle for this segment, and we'll never stop singing it. 4 squatters...
Which is a nice way of saying he'll never do that again.
4 squatters arrested in a South Fulton home. This is down in Atlanta. South Fulton area, Monday, where, this was actually Sunday when the arrests happened. These people were nightmare neighbors, right? And first off, I guess they weren't even supposed to be in this house. They're squatting on the home, and the neighbors say for the last 4 months they have dealt with the nuisance of these people living in their little subdivision, which is called Thaxton Reserve. As you can imagine by the name of the community.
Say it again?
Thaxton Reserve.
That sounds like where Kevin Spacey's character lived in House of Cards.
Pretty much. I mean, this is if...
With that horrible Southern accent.
Right. Your house...
We live on Thaxton Reserve.
Your house has a bow tie, basically.
No doubt.
I mean,
mint julep is the only beverage that you could get at the bar in the neighborhood.
Absolutely. It is. The outside of this house is beautiful. I mean, it is a beautiful 2-story brick home. Just everything is nice except for the people that were inside of it. For 4 months, these people were piling trash around the yard of the house in the Thaxton Reserve. They would race each other up and down the road in this community. The neighbors also complained of noise at all hours of the night, especially on the weekends,
where one of the neighbors said that they were running an illegal strip club inside the home on Saturday nights.
I clutch my pearls.
Said that they the house often and its surroundings often reeked of marijuana. There was sporadic gunfire, and even one time, and I would love to hear the audio of the guy say this to the reporter, because I swear to God it sounded something like, they even got a horse one time. Yeah, they rented some spotted horses and had them out in the yard, like giving rides to kids.
I thought you were about to tell me they had some kind of weird horse fighting ring, which I didn't know that was a thing.
Now I want to go bet on it.
100%. I've already texted my bookie, hey, you got any horse fights? Like, I didn't know that was a thing until just now.
Never mind. There was a joke that came to my mind. I couldn't say it.
Yeah, because you're 12.
I am.
Because you're 12 years old.
Got to roll through it here. So anyway, everything, they had complained for months to the cops, and they never did anything about it. And so I guess it just got to the point where all the neighbors were like, well, I guess we're just living with the strip club now. And then Sunday morning came, and the SWAT team showed up.
And half of them were in it.
Oh, gosh. The SWAT team showed up, and they frog marched all four of them out of the neighborhood, and I'll bet there were cheers up and down the roadway.
And I bet there were at least 5 residents of Thaxton Reserve that were glad that they were not there when it was raided.
I do declare.
I'm watching House of Cards, in case you can't tell. So if I do that thing where Kevin Spacey looks at the camera with his horrific Southern accent, if you ever wonder why I do that accent, it's because anytime Hollywood portrays people from where we live, that's how they sound. I've lived here for 30 years. I have never met a person that talks like that.
Never?
Ever.
Really?
You have?
I have. I've met a couple of people.
You've met that Southern gentleman.
that talks like that. And yeah, he's usually a lawyer of some kind. He's just still in the accounting business, which my family has run for years and years.
So he's Alex Murdoch.
100%.
He didn't talk like that.
No, it's put on. It's 100% put on.
He didn't talk like that. My story comes with a visual aid, which I'm now putting up on the YouTube feed. It's about a Florida man. His name is Johnny Yates, and he did crimes. He was wanted by the Polk County Sheriff's Office on aggravated battery, false imprisonment, and tampering charges. Well, the Polk County Sheriff's Office had been looking for him, and they were they were struggling to find him, but they eventually found a house where they believed he resided. And they showed up at that Lakeland home at around 2:45 p.m. on Saturday. They got a tip that he was holed up inside. Well, when they got there, they found something very strange. It was a dry erase board that was put on the outside of the house, and it said, Johnny Yates does not live here. I would love to have heard the thought process of, this will throw him off the track. In what world did not here?
Johnny Yates is not here. I mean, did Johnny Yates live there? Was he on, like, the address? Like, could they look it up and go, okay, we know Johnny Yates lives at blank road?
Well, it's funny you asked that, because the deputies questioned someone leaving the house who confirmed that Yates was inside. But after surrounding the house for an hour and calling for him to come out, he wouldn't, because I guess he thought his sign was eventually going to convince them they're at the wrong house, in spite of the fact somebody from inside the house just said, yeah, he's in there. Mm-hmm. So they eventually sent in the surrender smoke. Never heard it called that before. Still no response, so they sent it in again.
You don't
Finally,
want that smoke, by the way.
You
definitely do not want the surrender smoke.
The surrender smoke and the Adam Black Jehovah Witness smoke, I think, they're parallel to each other.
The surrender smoke comes in a different can, and it's called Jeremy Green after Taco Bell.
So finally, deputies and K9 Dexter entered the house and located Johnny, who was hiding in a modified chest of drawers. I have a question that is not answered in the story.
Yeah.
What the hell's a modified chest of drawers? So, I mean, did he just crawl in the bureau and think nobody would look there? Meanwhile, Dexter's sitting outside going, open the door, open the door, open the door. This is not a training exercise, and when that door opens, it's going to suck real bad for you, Johnny Yates, because you do indeed live here, and you're about to bleed profusely. Now,
where did Johnny Yates hide? Yawn Bureau.
Yawn Bureau. The Polk County Sheriff's Office put this out in a Facebook post that said, in regards to the 4 people who were not cooperating with deputies who apparently owned the house, each one received a parting gift, a charge of resisting and an all-expense-paid trip to Grady Judd's bread and breakfast. Grady Judd is the sheriff of Polk County, and now I don't ever want to call the Buncombe County Jail anything other than David Zach's bed and breakfast. And I look forward to telling him that this Friday when he returns to pick games for Beat the Chief.
Does he get to claim that? I mean, he's the
or is that Quentin Miller's
the
bed and
city?
breakfast?
That's that would be a county building. So I don't think he gets to claim the jail.
But I mean, doesn't
they put their people there? Yes, they arrest somebody, they put them in the Buncombe County Jail. But is that not? Would that be Quentin's bed and breakfast?
I don't know. It's funny either way. I like it both ways.
I don't know. All I know is if you go to Quentin's bed and breakfast, you get out for free the next morning.
There you go. It's one bed and breakfast that you don't have to pay for. I wonder if they have a Chad Nesbitt room where they put the real crazies. We broke Tank. It's just
that's just a good. I handled one. I did one Chad Nesbitt joke in the chat, and then you followed it up with another, and now it's just you got to move on. You got to move on. I'm gonna hurt his feelings. Go.
Skyline News, fair and accurate journalism.
Oh, whew.
We tell a lot of jokes around here.
So good. Anyhow, yeah. All right. Is that the punctuation on your?
Adam Black said we're going to make Skyline News tonight. Oh. I'm sure tens and tens of people will be really upset.
I'm sure they're going to come up with a great groundbreaking story how the Sportsocracy is taking money from Hamas. Watch out for them parking meters. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Hey,
make them laugh. Just jokes, people. We don't care. We really don't care.
No, we really don't care about him. All right.
I don't care about any of it. I just like to make jokks because I think most of you are real dumb.
All right, Kyler Murray.
Politicians. Yeah. That's who I meant. Yeah. Politicians.
Thank you for clearing
don't
that
have up. Don't have a whole lot of use for that.
Kyler Murray coming back to practice with the Arizona Cardinals. So he had the surgery, and we've had the talks, right? We've had the talks about what are they going to do with Kyler when he comes back. Josh Dobbs he seems to be the quarterback that's making this thing at least competitive. So do you go, I mean, is this even a question? Is Jonathan Gannon and company sitting back and going, yeah, maybe we don't play him this year? Because I really doubt that.
Well, I mean, you open the practice window, so there's really not a whole lot that – I mean, you can't really keep him off the field. Because then you're getting into the NFLPA, mm-hmm. you're getting into a lot. Now, to me, the better question is, should you want him to come back? Because there is a possibility here that this really disrupts the apple cart. I mean, look, Kyler Murray's not a terrible quarterback. Every time I talk about him, people make it sound like I'm comparing him to Ryan Leaf. I just don't think he's very good. He puts up stats that are empty calories. That's what he does. He is the definition of that.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Baker Mayfield are a lot more similar as NFL quarterbacks than people want to believe. They're both 6 games under 500 as quarterbacks. You've got decent enough stats, and it's never led to squat. And you both had 1 year where we thought, hey, you're good. And to me, you use this year as a, are you actually the solution? Can you get on board with this program? Or are we going to have Call of Duty issues again? Where we had to put a clause in your contract that you would actually watch film. I mean, you can tell me how good he is on the field, but is he that good in the locker room? Historically, no. Now, I've heard no reports that he's been anything but fine this year, but he's also not been around the team for extended periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, it's something to watch. You're going to have to put him into games. Does it make Arizona any more competitive? I mean, he's better than Josh Dobbs. I don't think that's even debatable.
You're correct. He is better than Josh Dobbs. I mean, it might be one of those situations where Josh Dobbs is best for this system and he makes it work. But here's the thing: and aside from the contract, right? You say this doesn't matter, but I believe it does. If you're paying this guy this much money, I'm gonna put him on the field. But also, I'm not in a position where, or I don't feel like you are. You're in a position where you need to make a move like this, where you need to go with the guy who's great in the locker room. I mean, I get for the future of the team, but Josh Dobbs is not the answer for the future. There's nothing he's going to do over the rest of this season that's going to go, yeah, Josh Dobbs is our starter next year. He could be your backup for whoever you're
I think he's going to be your backup.
For whoever you draft.
Yeah, he's going to be your backup. He's already shown that he's good in the locker room. He's good in the huddle. He's a good backup quarterback. You need a guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
My question now is Kyler Murray the guy that you're going to win playoff games with?
No.
I'm not even saying Super Bowl.
No. And I don't think anybody in that building believes that he is.
I don't either.
This is what Josh Gannon's going to do. Or Jonathan Gannon, excuse me. He's going to bring Kyler back. We're going to go through all the process, and you're going to go out there every week. And I'm going to do my best to put you in a position to win games. And I'm going to make you in a position to make you look really damn good. And I hope you can put up some NFL MVP-type numbers in some of these games that we lose. Because let's not forget that's the ultimate goal here, is to keep losing. And I hope to God we get beat 50-47 every week.
Well, you don't want that because he's a defensive guy.
And you're throwing 400 yards a week and 5 touchdowns because I'm going to trade your ass. As soon as I get a chance and you can prove yourself to the league that you have value, I'm trading you. And I'm going to use one of those picks on a quarterback.
Well, and that's what I always fall back to with Kyler Murray. It is the worst kept secret on the planet that Arizona put it out there that he was available. Nobody bid.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody wanted to pay him this deal.
Mm-mm.
See, that's the truth serum. You can tell me how much you like him and how funny he is to watch. And, he's great when you're playing Madden. He doesn't really translate to winning football. He's fine. He turns the ball over a lot. His sack rate is really high. But he made 2 Pro Bowls. Okay. Not a ton of competition in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what the trade value is. That was asked in the chat. We've already tried this when he wasn't paid this way on a contract that somebody else wrote. So, Arizona to me is one of the more interesting teams in the league because you have outs either way. Kyler was always our guy if you win 5 or 6 games. Then you're out on Drake Maye. Then you're out on Caleb Williams. What happens if you win 3? Arizona has the number 1 pick. What are they going to do? They're going to draft Caleb Williams, and they'll figure it out with Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
That tells me you're not a franchise quarterback.
No, we're going to do the Josh Rosen thing again.
That tells me you're not a franchise quarterback. I'm not saying you're bad. I just don't think you're conducive to winning football.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they would do the Josh Rosen thing again if they're allowed to. I don't know what ownership involvement is going to be in that, and if they're going to make
this is a notoriously cheap franchise.
Yes, and if they're going to make you stick with Kyler Murray or what,
and there is a whale of a dead money charge on Kyler.
Mm-hmm.
I think that needs to be noted.
Yeah, so if they don't want to eat that money, then they'll hang with it again. I mean, Josh Gannon, or why do I keep calling him Josh?
I have no idea.
Jonathan Gannon said that, he's our franchise quarterback, and I'm happy that he's back at practice. Yeah, he's your franchise quarterback in name only. Because if you had another option, you'd take it in a heartbeat.
But, I mean, this is a shot for him to really work on the doubters, like both of us obviously seem to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you come in here, this team that's been fighting, I mean, I think they've shown a lot of spark. but it's obvious that you're at a talent deficiency. If he comes in here and wins a couple games he's not supposed to and he looks really good, you've got 2 picks in what I think will be the top 15 regardless of how this shakes out. There's a lot of players that you could add to that. You go get him a number 1 receiver next year. You go get him another piece. Brock Bowers is one that just screams to me in Atlanta. Or in Arizona, excuse me. Wait, there's a gas leak in here or something. You and I have both been doing that all day long. You've got a shot to really rejuvenate your career here. The problem is that you have given me a track record here of 4 years of you don't do the work. Cliff Kingsbury had this problem. You were in his face. You were a malcontent. And that's not an opinion. I saw it. I watched you do it on national television. So it's not like you can say, hey, that's not who I am. No, I saw it. This is your chance to say that's not who I am anymore. Now it's a question of whether you take it or not.
Yep. In the chat, it's mentioned Kyler to the Patriots. How about Kyler to the Falcons?
The Falcons is one
of those.
The Falcons would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. I could see either one of those working out. That's going to have to be it for us today here in the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville. Enjoy the football tonight if that is your drug of choice, or the baseball, either one. Jeremy's got the bangers for you. If you missed them, you can check them out on the socials at thesportsocracy.com. Back in the Ingalls studio tomorrow at noon.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Market.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye neti pot, hello Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Right, getting into our afternoon and seeing the clouds and the chilly weather sticking around. Some of us maybe not even hitting 50 degrees today. Slight chance of a shower early. Overnight tonight, a chance of showers early, then some clearing later. A little breezy, 42, 30s in the normally cooler spots. Tuesday, sunny, 60. On Wednesday, sunshine milder, 66. Thursday, sunshine, 67. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
Dr. Rebecca Merrill and her staff at Asheville Smiles are here to get your smile back on track, offering comprehensive dental care from teeth cleaning, fillings, and crowns to smile makeovers with Invisalign or veneers and so much more. Asheville Smiles also has all the up-to-date technology, including same-day crowns, digital impressions, so no more goop, 3D x-rays, and single-tooth anesthetic wands so your entire face doesn't feel numb when you leave. For the highest level of comfort and care, call my dentist, Dr. Rebecca Merrill, at Asheville Smiles.
Are you ready to take your financial well-being to the peak of excellence? Hey everybody, it's Chris Angel from Mountain Credit Union. Summit Personal Checking is a high-dividend checking account designed to elevate your financial goals to unprecedented heights. Prepare for a financial experience that combines exceptional benefits, competitive returns, and unparalleled convenience, all in one powerful account. Rates subject to change, restrictions apply. Visit mountaincu.org or stop by any of our local branches to learn more about this limited-time offer from your local credit union. At Mountain Credit Union, we're here for you because we're here with you.
Have your outdoors and running water too with Luxury Loo, the tasteful solution to portable bathroom rentals. Family owned and local, Luxury Loo Rental provides modern bathrooms on the go with running water, AC and heating, flushable toilets, and elegant designs. Luxury Loos are perfect for weddings, corporate events, remodels, and more. Don't leave your well-dressed guests to use a dirty porta-potty John.
Ew.
Turn to Asheville natives. Luxury Loo. Visit luxuryloosrental.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Patients need advocacy. It's a difficult process even when you've worked in the field for years and years.